Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Jiu Jitsu Lifting Life podcast. I'm your host, Dana Cartagena. You can find my Instagram at Mr. Fantastic, GNS10P, and of course, in my bio will always be the latest episode dropped on YouTube. Please like and subscribe if you like our content at the jujitsu.lifting.life episode. You can go to like episode 1, 2, or 3, and you can find all the videos and links. So please, if you like our content, like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll try to get back to you right on comments. We're getting the hang of that. Anyways, being joined by my co-host
Ryan Bartlett. I have an Instagram, which is RP Bartlett. I thought it was RP Bartlett 14. Found out that it's not that.
Dude, I was saying my Instagram handle, Mr. Fantastic 10P, and I was like, I left the GNS part out, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was definitely wondering about that.
Yeah,
I was listening to an episode the other day.
Scrubbed up.
So I will post pictures of us, but I will not. I don't know how to put anything else because I'm an idiot.
Well, hey, luckily we have a great producer, and now we have a manager / videographer that just joined our team. So all we gotta do is talk shit, and get better at promoting our stuff. Of course, or not of course. Today, we're not being joined by Tran Nguyen because this old-ass motherfucker is at a Joyner Lucas concert, which...
I guess you can't really hate on him too much.
Bro, Joyner Lucas is my walkout song every time I go out to super fights.
Is it bad that I don't know who that is?
Bro, yeah. It's a little bit.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. He's fucking fire, dude.
I'll take your word for it.
Anyways, if you couldn't already hear, you hear a random voice on the podcast already. We are being joined by our first guest. It's the biggest guy, or the biggest, tiniest guy that I've ever competed with. He's a blue belt competitor out of 10th Planet Springfield and a fundamental coach / instructor. Our boy, Jameson Lolos.
What up? All right, so first of all, by biggest, tiniest, I'm assuming you just mean that I'm like really strong.
Wait, no, wait. I think I said it. He's the biggest, tiniest. Yeah. He's tiny, guys. He's a little guy. He's a little guy, but he's also annoyingly strong.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
Annoyingly strong. And as we just learned on the podcast, he's a philosopher. But for some reason, when he's on the mat, it's that you want to break it down a little philosophy. Let's talk about the duality of people.
Yeah, no,
Jameson off the bats likes to read philosophy and is super smart. On the mats, he's just you a bitch.
Yeah,
yep, he does do that. Yep.
You a bitch.
I know firsthand. I get beat up a lot by him. So,
well, I definitely think like it. I'm just super competitive, and I like to try to antagonize people into like giving me their all.
Oh, so he's doing that Conor McGregor. No, he's not trying to get their all. He's trying to get them frazzled.
Yep.
He's trying to get them frazzled. So
that's a helpful byproduct too, because if you get under somebody's skin, they start to fuck up.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
That is true.
Yeah.
Don't look at me when you look right at me when you said that. What the hell is that?
Anyways, Jameson, plug your stuff.
All right. So my stuff, I got an Instagram, Jameson _Jude. I got, Facebook, whatever. I'm not really too big on social media, but you can follow me. Maybe one day I'll use it to promote something. I don't know. Maybe I'll teach one day, open my own school or whatever.
He's being modest. He's an active competitor. You should definitely follow his page and support his journey while he competes more, especially on the local scene. Because like I said, this podcast is going to be used to promote local guys. And as a guy that trains with Jameson and seen him compete, he may be the tiniest, littlest, smallest guy on the map, but this motherfucker goes out there and he bangs, all right? He likes to smash. Anyways, Jameson, give us a quick bio about yourself.
All right, so 27. I wish I started jiu-jitsu earlier.
We don't start that negative. We don't start that negative shit.
As everybody says.
We don't start that negative shit.
Yeah, I've been training with 10th Planet Springfield for like 2.5 years or so. Played football in high school, baseball in elementary school. That's the extent of my sports background. But I'm like 2 classes away from my bachelor's in psych, and professionally I repair commercial kitchen equipment, which is like opposite things. Really funny. So I went to a trade school for HVAC, and I always hated it and never wanted to do it, and now I'm like basically doing it. So interesting how
I went to a trade school for massage therapy and graduated from it and took an internship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got my certificate in it. I have license. I can massage probably wherever I want, and I don't do it because just like you go to a trade school, it's quick, cheap-ish, like for going to school. And you're like, nah, I don't want to do this shit, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just like, well, fuck, you go to school. You gotta go to school for what?
Yeah.
Years. Anyways, enough about school. That gets me depressed. So, what got you into 10th Planet, Jameson? What got you into jiu-jitsu?
All right. So there's a certain person that the three of us know, Andrew Healy. And
for those that
if
don't
anybody doesn't know him, he's probably like the biggest shit talker that I know.
Oh, he's
but I
out
love
there.
him. I love him. And he was always just telling me, because like I'm super into like strategy and very competitive. I love chess and shit like that. Telling me that I should sign up for jiu-jitsu, and he was bugging me for like a year about it. And I kept saying, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. And then like I got my tax return back one time, and I bought a piano instead of paying for classes.
Of course.
And you know, eventually, time came around. One day, I showed up for class, and I started to dig it. You know, it's a lot of fun, good exercise, really cool people, and it definitely just stuck. Like I just everybody that I've met at 10th Planet Springfield, I love all of them, and yeah, it's like a second home to me for sure.
That's what's up. I think we all have the same journey. Like my jiu-jitsu, getting into jiu-jitsu was probably a little different than everybody else, but the same thing. Once we got into it, it's like you get the jiu-jitsu bug, you get the obsession of like wanting to get better in jiu-jitsu, and it's one of those things that like, man, you take a week off, woo-wee, man, you feel like you're getting lost in the dust, man.
Yep.
Especially for like and hobbyists don't understand that, and sometimes they're too hard on themselves. But once you start doing jiu-jitsu and like you see those guys that like who are competing, and I'm telling you, for people that are thinking about competing and that are kind of taking it serious, you should compete. I think that if you are realistic about what your approach is or what you want to do when you go on those mats for competition, you should do it, because it shows you a different level what really jiu-jitsu is. It doesn't describe, you're most likely or usually way better at jiu-jitsu than what you show on competition day. But it shows you what you are practicing, what you'll actually use, and what works. And it shows like, man, if you're bullshitting for like, say you're bullshitting, barely rolling, barely showing up, and then you go out compete, it shows you what you really need to work on. Or if you win, it's addicting. But it shows competition-wise, and I know, Jameson, you probably can agree to this, as somebody that's a competitor and like really competitive and really wants to go out there and stuff like that. You go onto those mats, man, those motherfuckers don't lie. Like,
oh, yeah.
The mats don't lie, and they show you who you really are, and they show you what really works, and they show you what you have to do to invest in this game, to want to be one of those guys that people talk about, to be exciting and to win. Because if you don't put yourself in a position to win, it sucks losing, man. Like, losing sucks, and a lot of people quit because of that.
Well, I mean, I definitely know that, like, from my few competitions that I've done, you can certainly see the truth of, like, who somebody is, at least in terms of their self-confidence and how hard they work just by having one match with them. You know, you can tell when somebody's like really confident. You can tell when somebody's scared. You can tell when, you know, you've put in a lot more work than somebody, you know, and everything in between. And it's a really interesting feeling for sure.
So what's it like though, since I've never done a competition, I'm still new to the game. What's it like when you walk out there for like the first time? How is like, what's like, nerves?
What content?
Just, I mean, just like you see like fighters come out like, oh, I'm nervous every single game, or like a football player or whatever it is. Like, I'm nervous every single game. Some people are like, oh no, I'm good, I'm calm, I'm chill. Like, Jameson, what was your first experience for competition?
My first competition, I felt like everything was like sort of just like really sudden, like because like I'm a little bit of like I don't really get too nervous about things, but I remember my first match, I was like just stepping on a mat. They just called me there, and I just step on it, and it's like, oh, I'm right here. Slap hands. And like, I didn't even finish slapping hands on my first match because the guy skipped the fist bump, you know? And he skipped the fist bump, went for the double leg, and like all of a sudden I'm grappling before I even like was expecting like anything. And fortunately that match, when he shot the double leg, I caught him in a guillotine right away.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
So
catch me slipping.
So, like, when we roll, like I said, I'm still new too, so it's like the whole, like, the slap and then the fist bump, that's what most fights start that way, or
if
rolls.
you're cool.
That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to, like, make sure that your opponent is starting on equal footing as you, you know?
So, like, that was kind of like
it's a show of respect.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, guys, If you know me, I'm controversial. Slap hands with me. You want to slap? Boom, cool. You don't want to? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. We're going out there, and I'm trying to beat you. Either my whole goal is to beat you by submission. If not, I want to dominate you. And if I dominate you, I get points for it. So if you don't want to slap hands with me, I don't give a fuck. I'm not your friend on those mats. This is competition. When we're rolling upstairs, cool. Like, let's slap hands. That's all. But when I train, so I'm different than Jameson. I get nervous as fuck. I get nervous, and it terrifies me to compete. That's why I like competing. Because I want to go against what my body's telling me what to do. Like, I want to prove to myself, like, bro, you're not nervous, and you're going to do it. And going out there, you can psych yourself up because in competition. So that's why I asked what in content, because you can be getting ready for a super fight and you could be having to walk out for a super fight. It's way different than a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's different vibes. A super fight, you already know your lineup. You don't know exactly what time you're going on, but you have a general like idea of when you're gonna walk out. You know, you're the third match coming up. The first match is gonna end quick. You can be boom, you're going. But you know that's when you're gonna come out. A tournament, you don't know who really, unless you know the guys, you don't know who really you're gonna go against and stuff like that. So for me, at a tournament, it kind of fucks me up more because I'm like looking at him, eyeing everybody like, I might be going against him. I might be going against him. That's a big fucking guy.
Dude, they always look so jacked from far
Bro,
away.
and they're like, and then they call that guy and he's a weight class lower than me. What the how? I'm like, how, Sway? How? I'm bigger than him. And then I'm like, oh man, I'm fat. Oh man, I'm too small for my weight class. Oh man, this is not good. Oh shit. And then they call your name and you're like, fuck. And then you go out there and once you step onto the mat, you're like, oh, I'm just doing jiu-jitsu. I can't leave. Like, it's the dopest shit when you step onto those mats because you're just like, oh, I'm home. This is home for me. You know what I'm saying? When you step on those mats, bro, everything just, well, and then you just do jiu-jitsu. And whatever happens there is whatever fucking happens there. You know what I mean? But for a super fight, you got to walk out. So everybody's looking at you. All eyes are on you. And you know you're only going against one guy. A tournament, you're going against multiple people. You're like, I only got to go against this one motherfucker, which could put you like, oh shit, I can empty the gas tank because I don't have to go more rounds. Or, damn, I lose to this guy, I don't get redemption. I don't get another match to make up for it, you know?
One shot.
All these tickets sold, blah, blah, blah. And that's a good segue because I was listening to Jameson's podcast on the Thanks for Rolling podcast with our coach, Pat Campanola, and Jeff. I'm sorry, Jeff, I don't know your last name, but I love you. And they were talking about what do you feel about the name of a super fight? And Jameson gave this long philosophical answer. He went deep. Yeah.
Oh man,
he went deep.
Well,
if you want to, if you want to recap for Ryan, if you want to recap it really quick, and you know what a super fight means, like a one-on-one match with one person in an organization or event.
Yeah. So Pat and Jeff were sort of like positing the argument that like there's not really something or anything so super about the fight, and also like it's not a fight, it's a grappling match, right? And they were sort of like saying like it's not a big deal, and I was basically just saying like, you know, it's all in how you interpret it. It might be a big deal to the competitor or the people supporting the competitor or whatever. It might be super to you, maybe not super to somebody else. But you know, it's just a matter of perspective.
But it's also a catchy name too, though. You think about it, like
it does sound good.
So
it's good marketing.
Yeah.
The person who's never like you never been to a tournament stuff. When you hear somebody say they have a super fight, what's your thought process when they're like, oh, I have a super fight, it's a one-on-one match? What do you think? What
honestly,
would be your
it
questions?
just seems like like coming from that. I kind of like, oh, that makes sense. Like, okay, you have a tournament, then you have a super fight. Like, I mean, to me, it sounds like when I first heard that, it's like, okay, so jiu-jitsu to try to be a little different than everybody else, like like a UFC, boxing, all that kind of stuff. So they put super fights. So like Jameson, like you said, it's kind of catchy. It's like, oh, what's a super fight? And you look into it, it's like, oh, this has to be a one-on-one match. It's got to be important because it does sound important when you do it. When to the fighter, whatever it is, I would take that as a huge, like like a huge step. Like, oh, everyone's focusing on me. Like you said, the tournament, it's everyone's looking all over the place. Super fight, everyone's focusing on you. So it seems like when I hear super fight, I think this is very important.
Yeah, as a competitor, it definitely takes on a higher sense of importance, at least for me.
This is my thought process on it, and this is going to be to jiu-jitsu people, and this is people who are like, oh, it's not a super fight. One, it's not a fight. Let's just take that out. MMA is not even a real actual fight either. Like, it's not a real street fight because it's a sporting event where you do strikes and stuff like that. But like, let's throw off this like, and this is coming from a guy that I've done super fights. I love doing super fights. It's not a fight. Like we're grappling. We're grappling under a rule content, and we have a referee, and we have all these things. So it's not really a fight. We're not fighting, because we're limiting what we can do. All right, but if you say that, then you can say, well, boxing's not a fight because you're not doing everything. Yeah, well, that's why, you can always get into the nuances of the wording. My whole thing is words have meaning when you give meaning behind the word, right? I don't think it's a fight, but I do think it's super. Why do I think it's super? Because of the mental aspect of it. When people compete, right? First of all, a lot of people wouldn't even take a super fight, and I put that in quotations, okay? Because it's even guys that do tournaments, or guys and girls that do tournaments. Why wouldn't they do a super fight? Because all the attention's focused on you. All right, all the attention is focused on you, and that's what makes it super. Because when you go out there and you're going against one person, and you've been promoting that you're going against this one person, you have immense pressure on yourself to deliver and show out for your school, for your team, for the people watching. Right? That makes it more than just a tournament. In a tournament, you don't know who you're going against. You can just be going against random guys of all skill level. This one, you're going against one fucking person. And for some people that are like, "Oh, that's not a big deal," well, then you do it. Then you make that walk. Everybody thinks they're tough, but they won't take a UFC fight. Everybody's a fighter at the bar, but then why won't they do that? Because the pressure of it. That's what makes it super. Everybody's watching you. And to a lot of people, they can't compete like that. They can't compete. They can't perform in the gym, and they mentally break. There's a lot of people that are nasty in the gym that are not nasty in competition. And there's a lot of people that suck on the mat when they're training, but when they go out to comp, they're like, holy shit, there's something different. They turn it up.
Yeah.
That's the way I take it. You don't want to call it a fight. I don't care. I agree it's not a fight. We're not fighting. We're grappling. Yeah. Just like in wrestling. That's not a fight. We're wrestling. We're having a match. So, yeah. But as far as the super fight, if you don't think it's super, then you fucking do it. You know what I mean? That's just personally my opinion. Call it whatever you want, but I think it's a super match, but a super match isn't ringy. So a super fight, sounds
like
cool.
super grappling, something like that. It's not really catchy.
It's not really catchy, but when you have all those eyes and all that pressure on you, some people just can't perform, and that's what makes it harder than a regular match. Because when you could just fade in the background, you have 100 people, but everybody, like you said, they're over here, they're over there, and they're all over the place. Ain't nobody really watching you. You could lose, nobody cares. But imagine having to compete for all your teams. Everybody drove there just to see you. Everybody supporting you, and that's the first thing people will tell you when they lose. It's not you. Your ego, your pride, whatever you want to call it, takes a hit. But the first thing a lot of competitors say when they step off the mat is they say sorry to their coach and their friends. They say sorry. I'm sorry that you came out. I'm sorry that you came here. Bro, I took a super fight and I got destroyed. The first thing I did when I got off it, I apologized to Lewis and Randy who were in my corner. The girl I was dating at the time, I apologized to her. I started crying. I'm sorry. Why? Because you guys invested all your time. You came out here, you traveled. I'm sorry that I didn't perform and that you guys had all this,
So after that match or whatever you call it, super fight.
See, but we could call it a match.
Okay. So how do you think that changed you like when it came to training wise? Like,
bro, I was training 2 days after that match. I was on a Saturday. The gym was closed on a Sunday, and then it was like a private open mat on a Monday. I was in that bitch.
So I think that's like the most important thing though. Like, a lot of people like they lose, they're gonna talk shit. They're gonna be like, oh, it was bullshit. I wasn't feeling good, blah blah blah, or this guy was doing dirty blows, but like if you can come around, like you take a loss and then you can like better yourself from that, that's huge.
Well, that's why I respect Jameson because he had a match recently, his first super fight against a competitor that was 20 pounds bigger than you?
Yeah, it was 20 pounds.
And first of all, that really mentally defeats a lot of people. A lot of people, if you're 5 pounds over, they won't take the match or they're complaining. Imagine 20 pounds. And that dude was yoked.
Yeah. I remember I had him in my guard. And he was like trying to pry my guard open, and I just like looked at his bicep, and I was like, "Jesus Christ,
dude!"
He was a big boy. I saw the
Remember the picture I showed you? And I was like, "Yo, this dude's 170." I was like, "I don't know how the fuck." I was like, "This dude's probably cutting."
A big dude.
No, hey guys, he wasn't cutting any weight. He wasn't the weight. So, and then after that, Jameson still didn't make any complaints because it was supposed to be submission or draw. And that promotion, we're not gonna give any names to him. You guys can look it up. You can think whatever you want. Changed the rules last minute, which would have pissed me off too, because I'm like, bro, if you would have decided that it was a ref decision, you change your game plan. We strategize. Like, this is human chess. And the Jameson made no complaints. Didn't complain about the size difference, the rule change, all that stuff. He just, people, I heard people from our team was like, oh, we thought he won. He's never once said anything about that. He just took it. It's another match in his journey. It's another super fight. And he's just moving on, right?
Yeah. I think, I definitely got some takeaways, like, strategically and, like, what I need to train as well. I mean, realistically, 20 pounds, it sort of makes a difference, but if I was doing jiu-jitsu like I should have, like, I had several opportunities to submit him, and my technique was just off.
I love you. I've been guys 40 pounds bigger than me, so when people bring up that weight shit, I'm like, bro, try being a super small heavyweight. You could win. Like, you could win, and I don't like those guys. Oh, he was like, that's why I respect Jameson. He never once was like, yo, he was, even when I saw him afterwards, he wasn't like, yo, this dude was 20 pounds. Everybody else was saying it. But everyone else can say it, As a competitor, you got to take your L's and call it a day, right? You got to take what you took positive, or this isn't the sport for you. That's just how it's got to be. And Jameson never once was like, man, this dude is so fucking big. It's fucking bullshit. This and that. He's 190, blah, blah. He was just like, yeah, man, I almost finished him. I should have finished him. I'll make adjustments next time. And that's what you want from your competitors. And that's also what you want from one of your coaches, instructors. Somebody that's talking about, I want to open a gym. That's the kind of like role model, like a role model that you have to be able to teach these guys. Because if you teach these guys wrong, man, they're a reflection of who you are. And that shit's whack, bro. Like, that's whack.
Oh, for sure. And not only that, but I mean, if I was to go around like complaining about like the rule changes or the weight difference, like I feel like I would be disrespecting my opponent. And he trained hard for that too, I mean, it's not like it was his fault that the weight discrepancy was the way it was. It was just the promoter speaking for me, saying that I agreed to it.
And guys, there's great promoters out there, but there's a lot of shady promoters. So if you're an up-and-coming competitor, have your coach deal with it. Unless you're a seasoned vet that knows what to do and what you're talking about, please. These promoters don't care about you. They don't. We have a living example right here in front of us. They don't care. They want to fill a card up. They want to fill a card and put exciting matches. And you can get exciting matches by putting two guys that are different levels. 20 pounds. One guy's a purple, one guy's a blue. That's what gives results. If you look at collegiate wrestling, there's not a lot of pins. Why? Because to get to the collegiate level in wrestling, you have to be a certain level. You have to be good. And when you're that good, you don't really get pinned. But in high school, there's mismatches all the time. So there's so many pins. And pins are exciting. Just like submissions are exciting, But most of the time, sometimes it's not even the competitors, It's not even the competitor's fault. Like, that guy, it wasn't his fault. I thought it was,
because you said that he didn't know either that you were.
No. So I met him before the match, and he was like, "You agreed to this?" And I was like, "Agreed to what?" And he's like, "Dude, I'm 190. I haven't been 170 since high school." And
bro, we could have looked at that picture that he took, and I was like, "Bro."
I thought it was just like mismatched pictures.
That's what I thought
that
too,
just
you just thought that he was putting a little bit forward.
A little bit forward,
Yeah, when I saw the video, I'm like, dude, this guy is a beast.
Bro, that dude was so fucking big, bro. I was like, Jesus. But like I said, Jameson's the biggest, tiniest guy ever. And you're used to going against guys that look bigger than you.
Yeah.
And straight yoking them up. So, like, I was just like,
just working on it, you know.
Dude, it's
but
fucking.
I mean, I roll with anybody.
Yeah.
You know.
You have to, man. That's what Jiu Jitsu is all about, right?
I mean, if it don't work against somebody big, then what are you doing?
I don't have that problem. I'm the biggest fucking guy in the room, so.
Okay.
Now that Matt's coaching football.
Man, Matt's too little, baby. He's too. I got him on that Ryan program, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah, I gotta stop. I'll be like, damn, I'm so fucking big, and then they take a picture of me and Ned, and I'm like, God damn, he's so much bigger than me,
dude.
But when I'm next to him, I'm like, you ain't that big, bro. You little.
It's what you can do with your size, though, too.
Hey, holler.
Yeah, man, for sure. Technique's super important.
He just got that.
Yep.
You and James have been dropping some questionable quotes today. What's going on with you guys? How you guys tired, son?
Listen, man. Listen.
I think it's your mentality. It's like your brain. What's going on with you?
I don't know, man.
So I knew what he like. So that comment he made when he first came in, I knew exactly. Oh yeah,
what he meant. Let's give a shout out.
You took that, like that 10th grade mentality, like tee hee hee, like.
Hey man,
it was pretty funny, man.
Never grow up. Yeah. That's what I say. I think you got to be able to enjoy like all senses of humor.
Yeah, well then, there he goes getting philosophical.
I
want philosophical Jameson, bro. I want that savage shit talker on the mat.
You want me to tell you that you're a bitch? Is that what you want?
I want that energy 24/7.
I'll tell you that tomorrow, bro.
No, this guy on the mat with Jameson be rolling. Hey, Ryan, how's it feel? I'm like, it fucking sucks, all right? You're digging your form into my throat. It sucks, dude. Leave me alone. Stop being a bully, all right?
Bro. Yeah, well, dude, the thing is you're so strong and like you're good for like how long you've been training,
5 months.
right?
Dude, that's what everyone's first thing when they talk to me about Ryan. They're like, bro, he's so fucking strong.
Bro, Ryan gets on top of me and he's trying to give me a mean crossface and I'm just like not having it. So I gotta get my frame in and I gotta jam my forearm into his neck to make him chill out a little bit.
Yep, I know, because I spaz out a little bit out there. I haven't learned like that calm, like
that takes a while.
Yeah,
it takes a while. I don't even know when I stopped spazzing out. Like you think, like I think just one day you're like, oh, I'm not spazzing anymore. When did that happen? I don't know. It happens, right?
Yo, I'm sure I probably accidentally do it sometimes though. Like, especially like with Lewis, when I want to get him so bad sometimes.
Bro,
and I'll like try to throw my leg up over his head, and I'll like miss, and I'll like hit him in the head.
If you put like a hit count meter for everybody that gets hit in jiu-jitsu, I think Lewis might be number one.
Oh yeah,
because like you're just constantly defending, and when you're defending, even me, bro. He went for an armbar and he got it, and I like smacked the shit out of his stomach, and I was like, "Yo, sorry," and he's like, "Nah, you got me in the belly, bro, good." But like you're constantly like smacking him and kneeing him and this and that, because you're fighting for your life. Lewis, fighting. He gets up. He's always constantly got that fucking scratch on the back of his neck. And dude. Every practice, I'm like, bro, you got another scratch on you. He's like, yeah, it was from this guy. I was doing this. I'm like, well, stop beating us up so much. Stop.
And like the thing is, just like what like scares me about him is the fact that like when I roll with him, he's like never breathing heavily. I'm like, and he's just sitting there, just calm. He's like, okay, and then like he goes for one thing and he can't get that, and he somehow like spins something else on me. So it's just.
He's just too good, man. His Matrix is so good. He's like Neo. You ever see when Mr. Anderson was trying to fight Neo in the hallway after he became the one?
You're trying to push. If I've ever seen that? Come on, of course.
Well, yeah, you just can't assume with my 10th grade mentality.
You
can't everything that I'm good at in jiu-jitsu, Lewis is better at.
So me and Jameson were talking about like his like defending like his attacks, and we're like, what attack should we defend? And I'm like, I don't know, man, because if I defend his darce. He's just going to, like, put me in his guard to triangle me. Well, I'll defend that. He'll just go for a leg. I'll defend that. He'll just take my back. Oh, I'll just play guard. He'll just pass me. I'm like, God, I'll just do that. He'll just go for Kimuras. I'm like, God, what submission won't he go for? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. He does it all. And I like because, like, Morgan has long arms and goes for darces, but Lewis has shorter arms. But he hits the same amount of darces on me that Morgan hits. And Lewis is not, like, a long guy either. But he gets that angles, like just jiu-jitsu is all about angles, and he knows how to angle his body to get triangles and darces and Peruvians, and I'm having PTSD right now.
Dude, he just like flows like water around your defenses, and next thing you know, you're drowning.
Yeah,
that was good. I like that. That was really good.
He's a philosopher, bro.
I know. I like
philosopher
that. Was good.
Jameson.
That was nice.
Bro. Yeah, I'm like, we're savage, Jameson.
Lewis's wrestling, like I never experienced it too much, but he went for a double leg the other day, and I didn't even know what happened. Like, it was just the fastest thing I've ever seen.
Did he set it up with the arm drag?
He, like you did to me? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, no. So I straight up arm dragged you, but Lewis, he's got me with this a couple times.
I know, right? Jesus, man. Bowling's
No, Lewis has got me with the same double leg setup like twice in the past week, where he like fakes the arm drag and then he just shoots, and he's like in on my legs before I even like react to the arm drag, and I'm just like, what the?
Bro, I'm on the sideline like, Jameson, make an adjustment. It don't matter, bro, because I get double legged by Lewis all the time. Dude, me and him went rounds on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rounds. You guys were going hard.
Rounds,
it was fun to
bro.
watch.
We were training back and forth takedowns, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you got me. You out takedown me. You took me down 3 times." I was like, "No, Lewis. One of the takedowns, you guillotined me."
Yo, you did have a really nice takedown on him.
I hit a fireman carry.
Yep.
Yeah, I hit a fireman carry, which is it's the first time I ever hit it, and I was like, dude, I was trying to Imanari him all, bro. I was like, fuck it, because when we went, he was like, oh, so let's get 2 more rows in, and then we'll finish off with each other. And I was like, okay, cool. So one of the kids, I was like, yo, go roll with Lewis. And the kid like got up, drank some water, and started talking to me. And I was like, oh, I guess he's not going to roll with Lewis. So then Lewis was like, okay, I guess me and you, Daniel, can roll. So I went, restarted the timer, and he's like, oh, what you want to do, 10 minutes? And I was like, nah, let's do 17, because the 2-minute break. So I was like, let's do 3 rounds, 17 minutes. So after 3 minutes of getting fucked up, I was like, dude, I'm throwing everything at him. I don't even care if it works. If not, he's going to tap me anyways. And we were banging. Dude, there was like the last minute of the last round, and I was trying to play like my takedowns from like on my knees and stuff, and he was like, nah, stand up, man. And that motherfucker took me down with 30 seconds left. I was so pissed off. I was like, fuck. I was so mad. I was like, oh, he's so good. But hey, he is what he is, man. He's a beast, and we're gonna have him on the podcast soon, so that's gonna be a dope episode. So we can actually talk to him and get his thought process on how he trains and what works for him and stuff like that. So that's gonna be fucking exciting. So switching topics, Jameson, you finally did your first, well, I guess technically your second ever cross training out of 10 Planet.
Oh yeah.
You went to that Jocko Willick. How do I say his last name? Willicks
So it's
camp, right? No, it's not his camp, right?
It's the Origin Immersion Camp, right? So it's hosted by Pete Roberts, and who's the founder of Origin, which is a clothing company. They make gis, they make jeans, boots, all that stuff.
All in America, right?
All
stuff, right?
in America, American made,
Nice.
factory denim. Anyway, I don't. Oh, I also I have one of their stickers on my water bottle here.
Yeah, for everyone that can watch,
Yeah.
which is nobody
Made
because
in
we don't have a
America
camera.
without compromise.
It's a pretty
But,
cool sticker. If anybody can see.
Yeah, but yeah, the camp itself, there's probably like over 200 people there. Most of them train exclusively gi, and it's interesting coming from like I've never had a gi class before this camp, right? And to see the dichotomy between like people who train gi and people who train no gi, and like how they interact on the mats, like so coming from my no gi background, like most of the stuff that I do works, most of it, and then but also like there's certain things that I got to look out for that I normally don't have to, right? The first day I got collar choked pretty good.
Good collar choke.
Yep.
Good collar choke.
But
Burns your neck, bro. It hurts so bad.
it's interesting to see like the gi guys once they take off their gi and they go no gi, they're like lost, like at sea without a paddle. They don't know what to do. Like they're like looking for grips that aren't there anymore, and I'm just like doing my stuff, and it's interesting.
So would you say a gi's harder than no gi because like you have like because you have like those different options with the grip and
So,
stuff like that?
I think it depends on the style that you play.
So I did the gi for a year, so before I did 10 Planet, and gi is definitely, I wouldn't say harder because everything presents its challenges, but there's way more moves you can do in the gi.
Okay.
So it's a different speed, different pace, and there's different techniques that you can use. Like in the gi, you can do a spider guard, which is an open guard with my feet on your hip, and I've got my hands in your collars, and I'm going like this. Or no, I have my feet on like your biceps.
Okay.
And I'm controlling you like that, which is a lot of people use it. Deli Hebo, all that stuff. If you know Keenan Cornelius, he has like a crazy gi game. He calls it like the worm guard and stuff like that.
Mm.
So there's way more moves and techniques and submissions that you can do in the gi that you can't do in the gi. So when you subtract it, the difference is when you do no gi is you rely more on your athleticism and the controls that you get from collar ties and from gripping, which is why I emphasize positive grips when you roll. And you take a lot of moves out. Plus, wrestling's a bigger factor in no gi than it is in the gi, because in the gi you can really hold people. Just put if you don't know like how it feels, put a jacket on and have your friend just grab your jacket and just go back and forth. Like you grab their jacket and they grab yours, and you can feel that control. It's very hard to try to use your explosion and your movement. I mean, you can still do it, of course. But
Yeah, I definitely
Cody's
noticed
way
like
slower.
passing guard,
Gi.
like
Gi's way slower.
passing guard in the gi. I had to sort of adjust how I pass guard, because like I usually pass guard like forehead first, really pressure passing, getting into it. But doing that, I feel like exposed me to too many like collar grips and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like when I was wearing the gi, I felt like I had to pass the guard a little bit more upright,
Yeah.
and prevent those grips from happening.
And they also don't really attack legs in the gi. It's kind of like taboo. So you're not really going to be going for leg locks and stuff. So you can get away with doing certain things.
Yep.
Like, I think in the gi, a lot of people like doing deep half sweeps. I like deep
Yeah.
half sweeps, but in no gi, people don't really do that. So I think the last time somebody did a deep half sweep on me was a brown belt that dropped in 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh, you're a gi player. You can definitely tell when people are gi players as opposed to no gi players. So I was like, oh, you're a gi player, because when you go for a deep half, you leave your arm out right there. And if I'm going against like a guy like Lewis, he's Kimuring me or something. Like, it's just not a position that I want to be caught in. So I'm like, I'm not going to play this. I'm not going to play this deep half on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go for a leg.
Mm-hmm.
I have a leg right there. So the gi's more challenging. Like, the gi's challenging. Jiu-jitsu's all challenging, but the gi's like, you could slow someone down. You get somebody that has good grips and good posture, and he sticks you in the gi. Oh man, you'd be there all around. They're just sticking you. They're just grabbing behind your collar.
The chokes are different too, man. The gi chokes, like you get like burns on your neck and stuff.
So like when Tran said this third podcast, you're wearing rope. you're wearing rope around your neck. Like when you're wearing the gi, it's rope. So when people are grabbing stuff, that's rope choking you.
And so that's allowed too, to use the other person's gi.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Bro, they take their gi, they'll open your gi up and they'll use it to wrap around your arms.
I've seen videos like that. So it's just like that
sucks.
At the camp, Dean Lister showed this choke where like you wrap the lapel around your opponent's neck like it's your own lapel, and then you like roll, and when you roll, it twists it in a knot like around their neck.
Oof.
Bro,
dude, it's crazy.
It was a nasty choke.
In no gi, we can't do anything like that. So that's a technique that we don't have to learn.
Yeah.
So, but if you go from no gi to the gi, that's something you have to learn.
So what do you think is like a better transition? Do you think gi to no gi or no gi to gi? Or just like there's no very easy way to say it, just kind of like, it's good to kind of have like dabble in both, maybe, or just...
I'm a big component of, I believe that people should learn how to wrestle, especially women, as a form of self-defense, because when you're grappling and stuff, you're grabbing, you're holding, and wrestling's all about controlling somebody and imposing your will onto them. And I'm a big component. If you're doing self-defense or you're fighting, wrestling is really good for you, because there's a lot of moves in jiu-jitsu you will not do in a street fight. And you're not pulling guard. You're not sitting down. What you're trying to do in a street fight, you're not trying to get taken down. You're not letting somebody trying to get you in a headlock. You're not trying to let somebody pick you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's that would be like my big focus, as opposed to like no gi and gi. Everyone says, well, if you do no gi in a street fight, it's more realistic because you're not always going to have a jacket on. No gi's like, well, you'll have a jacket on so you can grab. I don't know, man. I say just wrestle. I say wrestle and push somebody away and just be like, don't, get off.
Well, see, that's going to my job for law enforcement, like we have people, winter's coming up, people are going to have jackets on, that kind of stuff, So, I mean, to me, I'd rather grab on like something like more sturdy. So I want to grab onto a limb.
Yeah.
Like, I tell you what happened at work last night. Like, I grabbed onto his limb,
Yeah.
But it's just like, it would be kind of interesting or good to know if I can't grab onto that, I can grab onto a pant leg, or grab onto
even
sleeve.
Like breaking it down like a real basic level, like a stupid level, like kids, when they're about to fight on the street, what's the first thing they do? They take their jacket and shirt off. Yeah, they take their shit off. They take their shirt off. They put their pants up and they're like, let's fight, because they don't want nobody grabbing their clothes. So if you're not good at like getting positive grips on somebody and controlling them, it's very tough. That's why when you see wrestlers, what's the one thing wrestlers do off rip when they're wrestling somebody? Hand fighting. That's their main focus. You will never not meet a wrestler that won't constantly hand fight. It's all about getting positive, getting collar ties, hand fighting, getting that control and stuff like that. That's what I believe is really like super important. Control in a fight. You could control a fight, you're in a better position to win the fight. You know what I mean? Because if I can just calm down, you know what I mean? And I don't want to rely on clothing to do that.
Yeah.
What happens if your clothes rip?
Yeah.
What happens if you're sweating? What happens if you take it off? I want to know, like, I want to grab your wrist. I want to be able, if you grab my wrist, to be able to break it. I want to know. A lot of people like headlocking. A lot of people go for grab a headlock like all the time, and that's so easy to counter. Didn't I show you that Wednesday? Where somebody grabs you in the headlock and you pick them up?
Yep. I actually used that. What was it? Thursday, I think I used it. I forgot what his name was, the redhead kid with the beard. He tried to get me in a guillotine. I just lifts him right up, and I just set him down nicely.
Hey, I love it. I love wrestling.
Talk about my friend Ian.
Was that him, redhead kid?
Might have been. He sort of got reddish hair.
He's like,
you ever wrestled before?
On and off.
Who?
Ian.
No, I don't think so.
He had a nice shot. It was like shooting for double legs. I was like,
but I think we're talking about grip strength. I think we should try to go back to Jameson and figure out why his grip, like when he grabs onto you, can't break it off. And I think that goes to some of his rock climbing experience.
Yeah. So before jiu-jitsu, I spent like 2 to 3 years rock climbing. I would rock climb like 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week. And as an adult, it was definitely like my first love in terms of like athletic pursuits or sporting types of things, right? And I mean, a lot of the components of rock climbing translate well into jiu-jitsu, such as grip strength and body positioning and balance in terms of like maintaining dominant position, for sure.
a lot of good guys rock climb. A lot of good guys in jiu-jitsu rock climb.
Well, you can definitely feel the grip part, like I always talk about deadlifts, farmer's carry and stuff like that, but when you go against someone that has like that natural kind of like grip strength, where it's like you're just like holding your body up in the air, like that grip strength, you could tell. Like when I roll with you, I can definitely it's gonna be hard to break his grip right off me.
Yeah, I definitely think like what I do for work probably helps me a little bit too, because I'm like basically a mechanic, so I'm like constantly using screwdrivers, wrenches, and stuff like that, and like grabbing stuff.
When I think about a rock climber, not only grips, I think about their back. And that's a weird segue, but I think about their back because coming from me, I don't think people know how to use their body properly when it comes to using their actual strength and using muscles. Like, I won't lie to you. When we're like deadlifting or we're doing anything for our back, Ryan's like, tighten your lats, contract your lats, squeeze them. And I'm like, where are my lats? That's why Josh, the first time we were doing it, I was like, what are my lats, bro? What am I supposed to be squeezing? I don't feel anything. Like, squeeze
my
your
bad.
lats.
Yeah, I should have told you what the lats were, but
Yeah, so I think when people are rolling and stuff, they rely too much on like, I think people in life, they always think biceps, arms when they think of strength. You know, they don't think about hamstrings, how important hamstrings are, how good body positioning, distributing your weight. Guys and girls, they start doing jiu-jitsu and it's all meathead. I'm going to overpower you with my strength. And it's just like, nah, you can beat me better if you can control me and use your weight distribution and get your base and make it harder for me and know where you want to go.
I definitely know like one of the first things, like in the first few months of me doing jiu-jitsu, like I noticed I was watching a video of me rolling with Lewis, and of course he was smashing me, right? He had me mounted, and I'm like watching, and I'm like, man, what am I doing wrong? And then I see my legs, and my legs are like straight out, just flat, and I'm not using them.
Yeah.
Your legs are like your strongest muscle in your body.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
You got to use your legs.
Dude, I'm watching people row, and I like fucking around with Carlito way too much, and he was doing something, and he was doing it wrong, and I was like, bro, use your strength, man. Use that 400 deadlift.
Yeah.
Why can't I think he was trying to,
he
like,
was pulling net on top of him.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, use your strength, bro. Wait, let me see that 300 bench. Oh, it's not working. What's going on? Why can't you get your because technique rules all, and being strong definitely helps and gives you a better advantage in jiu-jitsu, but technique and knowing your body and how to use it. And that's one of the things with lifting has shown me, like, actual understanding muscle groups a lot. And I think going back to like people that rock climb, just watching the way they roll, they use their body, you have to, you know what I mean? You can't just rely, like, first of all, Ryan, biceps don't do shit, right?
they don't show muscles.
Show muscles. But everyone thinks if I have big arms, big biceps, I'm strong. Nah, bro, how's your back look?
Yeah, well, that's
Your back muscles kind of are your choking muscles.
Dude.
In a big way.
Also, if you have big traps, bro, it's harder to choke people.
Yeah.
And harder to choke if you got good traps. Look at Rusev Paul Harris versus Gordon Ryan. He was like, bro, his traps were just too massive. I couldn't get a grip on his neck. So I think personally, positive grips, but using your body more, because like you said, like that rock climbing, what do they say? Like the farther along your legs are on the wall, the better for your balance or whatever. Like you don't want your legs too close or something. How would you break that down?
Well,
like you're using your legs, right?
It depends on where the handholds are, you know? I mean, you definitely got to use your legs, and then also, like, anytime, like, a limb leaves the wall, like, you need to make sure, like, the opposite limb is, like, on the wall, right? So if I'm, like, holding myself with my right hand, I can't take both my left foot and my left hand off the wall, right? Because then I swing out like a door.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm holding myself with my right hand, my left foot has to be on the wall. Okay. In most cases.
That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So then when you did like rock climbing, did you actually go out like, did you go like one of those places that has like, I know like, is it Hadley has like one of the rock climbing places?
Yeah. So I had a membership at the gym, and I got into outdoor climbing as well, where, lead climbing, where you bring the rope up with you. There's anchors in the wall, and you have to like set your own clips and your own, safety devices and whatnot.
I want to trust myself to do that.
Me either.
Oh no,
I'm an idiot. I could do it.
It's definitely
I see some rocks. I'm like, I can fucking climb that.
Yeah. So
I ain't
like,
no bitch.
For that, it's like it's important that you're like aware and you're doing the right thing, but also you want to have somebody that you trust, spotting you or belaying you in the rock climbing terminology. Right. You need somebody responsible for that because it is very dangerous.
I think more people should do rock climbing for jiu-jitsu, using those back muscles, man, using their whole body, using your legs.
I would just say, especially with that grip strength, man. Like I said, like it's no joke.
Well, how many times people don't do pulling?
Yeah.
Like when they work out, they just do pushing, or they do one thing that they think, I just bench. Like, I was just doing that. I think Berg put me on like 3 weeks ago. I was like, bro, I'm hitting this muscle group, but this muscle group. He's like, bro, you should do a push and a pull. It makes a lot of sense, and you feel the difference in it. You know what I mean? And that's all. pulling and using your legs. And Tran always preaches to me hamstrings are like one of the most important muscle groups to use in jiu-jitsu. You know, always. He's like, oh, you got to have good hamstrings, man. You should ride a bike. Use good hamstrings, man. They're very important. And I believe it. Danaher says if you use your legs, you're 50%. You're going to increase it at 50% more faster rate than normal people that don't use their legs. Try to use your legs like hands.
And that's the one thing, too. I realized like one big issue I have, especially being new, rolling like with you guys and stuff like that, is you guys are constantly using your whole bodies.
Yeah.
You know, like everything, like you get like me, I know like if you guys are like you mount me, whatever it is, I noticed that like I just kind of like, just use my hands to get free. I'm not really using my legs. Every once in a while, like, oh, I have my legs to use. I got to use my legs. And
when you're in bottom position, if you don't use your legs, you're fucked.
And that's what I realized quite a bit. Like I try to like remember that and try to use like, you know, start using my legs, but there's a lot of times, especially like I get nervous when rolling with you. Not nervous, but like all these guys.
No, it's okay to get nervous.
No,
I get nervous when I roll.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh, these guys, I got to bring my A game. I'm thinking,
I get nervous before I roll Lewis all the time. I'm like, bro, I have to be on my P's and Q's because if I make a misstep, he's catching me. He's catching me, and I gotta be sharp, and I gotta mentally prepare. Oh, I'm gonna be tired. After this, we're gonna be tired. Well, yeah, that's something people don't like doing in jiu-jitsu is getting tired, like getting tired.
And that's the thing I realized too, because I'll always look for Jameson after he's rolled, like hasn't come off the mat. Like, oh, I'm gonna get him when he's tired. I'm gonna get him when he's tired. Like I stayed out for 2 rolls, so I'm nice and calm. He's like pouring sweat, and then so this last time we rolled was that Thursday or something like that.
Yeah,
and I came after I got done with rolling with Morgan, and Morgan he smoked me. And James comes in and just fucking gets that freaking arm drag. And I'm like, dude, I'm about to get my ass beat.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I had a good day. I've been working my wrestling a lot.
Oh, I can tell. I could definitely. And like I said, it's huge. Like I said, your wrestling came up. Like I said, I was off for 2 weeks and I literally did nothing. And I came back in. I'm like, I'm rolling with like I roll with James. I roll with you. With Morgan. I roll with like killers out there.
Sorry, Ryan. You roll with Jameson and you roll with you. You said Jameson twice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my bad.
No, it is.
You love Jameson that year. He's like, Jameson and you. I got all of you, bro.
Morgan, you, whatever.
Morgan's a beast, though, bro. Morgan is.
Well, there's some other people. But like, it's cool too, though, because then I roll with you guys and I roll with like the new people, and it's like, oh man, I remember I was in your shoes with a couple weeks in, 1-2 months in, so it's like
that's such a good balance of like rolling with good guys, so you get humbled and you can. So there's this thing, right? Is we're talking about rolling with newer people, so you can practice your offense and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I started like sitting back and really thinking about it, and I'm like, when you roll with newer people, you look good, right? Because obviously they don't know what they're doing, and your technique shines, right? And I'm like, but then when I roll with like a good person and I'm tired, I look shitty. And I'm like, is that because their technique is better than mine? And I started thinking about, well, that obviously is a factor, but I started thinking about like energy efficiency and how much more efficient I am when I roll with a newer person, which helps my technique look better. And when you roll with a better person, they obviously make you tired, so your technique becomes shitty. And that's why I was like, I wonder how much of a factor that plays in it. Like, you know, like you maybe
well, when you're new, you're like grabbing stuff and squeezing it for no reason, for no purpose, you know?
Love that shit.
And you're just like spending energy just like carelessly.
Dude, they're grabbing their like you're in half guard and they're holding you on top of them. I'm like, okay, so try to move. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even breathing hard, bro. Let go of me. If you let go of me, you can push me away.
Yeah.
And you can work on your frames. But
But that's another thing too. Like I said, like when I try to roll with new people, like I don't try to act like I know a shit ton, but like I'm like, listen, guys, I'm beating you right now, but I'm like, I'm gonna be done like rolling with you. I'm gonna roll with anybody else who's been doing it longer. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I'm like, there's always a bigger fish in the sea. So
I think that's the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu is like you can see a direct correlation of like how much hard work you put in and how much practice you put in and how good you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think you're definitely right. And like I said, I think it's
Oh wait, I think it restarted.
Yeah, right.
No, it's fine.
Making it up.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Anyways, so guys, what I really want to talk about really is because we've been talking about like new guys getting into jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. If you can give yourself when you were about to start jiu-jitsu and when you were about to start jiu-jitsu, if you can look at yourself and write a note, what tips would you give?
That's an interesting question. I would say use your legs. Use your legs.
No, so I'm talking
but
about
in terms of like what to expect.
I'm talking about technique, training, all of that.
Technique,
so like
training.
If you never trained, right? And you go to the gym and you're like, yo, you have a note from yourself 6 months from the future. And you took it and you're like, and you left yourself like bullet points. Hey, this is what you should focus on, blah, 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 blah. What would it be? To help yourself.
When you're drilling, slow down.
Oh, that's a good one.
Slow down.
That's a really good one.
And speaking of that, just to add on to that would be, don't stop drilling, especially if you knew. It doesn't matter how simple the movement is. Do not stop drilling until the coach stops you or there's a bell, whatever the hell it is. Don't stop drilling.
That's a good one.
Because, like I said, I mean, I'm new, so I said I don't judge anybody here. But like I look around, I'm like, why are people stopping? And like I said, that's why I like grabbing someone who most people I roll with or whatever, drill with, they're on the same page. And like, or if it's someone new, I'm like, okay, we're not going to stop. You're with me. We're going to stick with my pace. We're just going to keep. I'll go twice. You go twice. And go back
I think that's also a part of the culture of coaching, because I think a lot of people have never taken a class, so they don't know what to expect. So for a lot of people, man, this is physically taxing. So a lot of people are, you go to the gym, you start doing something, you stop whenever you want. Mm-hmm. You drink some water, and they still have that mind frame. They drink some water, they take a little break, they get back to them whenever they want. Now you're in the structured training where you should wait for your instructor to be like, hey, don't stop until I tell you. And a lot of people don't think that because when you're new, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what to think. So that's a good one though. Like, I'll shout out like to people who are like first hearing this, please just do the technique till the instructor tells you not to. It's a respect thing. If you're taking someone's class, don't talk and have a conversation for 5 minutes while everyone else is drilling, because that looks wrong. It's kind of a little disrespectful. You know what I mean? When you're looking at somebody and you're like, dude, you're not watching me at all. Like, you're not watching me train at. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, so you know everything that I just taught you? Yeah. And then you watch them do it again. And you're like, well, you don't know, so why aren't you training it? Oh, because I'm talking. No, just do it. Do it. There's a reason why we're doing it, and you need to do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's a really, really important one. But also slowing it down, because for some reason, white belts just like they want a speed racer, bro.
They want to hit the technique full speed, perfect.
Yeah,
right away, and it's just not gonna happen.
And I wish we could record or have like a mirror in the class, because I think in your head you're like, yo, this shit looks fire, bro. I'm fucking looking good, and then you're like, you didn't do anything that I taught you. What are you talking about? You missed like all these steps in between, and that's why I told him that saying, slow is smooth, smooth is quick.
Oh, and another really good one: drill with somebody with more experience than you. When you first start.
Yep. And
to the higher belts too, drill with new guys. Unless you're getting ready for competition and you don't, or you're not in the mood for it or stuff like that, it is up to you to help the lower rank guys get better. And you, in fact, get better by teaching the technique, because you're downloading it better into your matrix.
And that's the thing too. I think people have to. I think especially here too. It's the only jiu-jitsu school I've ever been to, but I feel like the higher ranked belts, you don't really see them like, oh no, I'm not going to drill with you because you're new, But like, because the thing is, like, me and my brother come here, and like there'll be like something, like, especially with legs, I'm pretty dumb when it comes to that, like with the leg part. I mean, so we'll be sitting there, we're like, well, dude, do you remember what he did? Like, well, I think this is how you do it, and we're doing it completely wrong.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, that's when also for another tip would be ask questions when appropriate. Yeah. Not when a coach is teaching. But like if you can't do something right with a new person, like, oh, hey, raise your hand, like, hey, can you just show me again, or can you just watch us do it? And like I said,
it's tough for people too, because like when you're put on the spot, when somebody's like, hey, do you have a question for the class? 99% of the time you don't. Yeah. And then when you start doing the technique, you're like,
because it seems simple when you watch, like, oh, he just showed me 5 times. How hard could it be? Oh, it's difficult.
Use your left hand. Hey, buddy, your other left. Your left hand. This hand. Put your left hand up. Yeah. Use that hand.
I definitely find like. I don't know if it's just because I'm a somewhat new instructor, but like I feel like for me, one of the best things I can do is physically grab somebody and move them to where I want them for the technique.
It actually helps. Yeah. It helps because you don't want to get frustrated. And sometimes you do get, we're human beings. We get frustrated when we show technique and somebody's just like, or they're rushing. I don't get frustrated if you're doing the technique wrong, because it's my job to make you understand the technique. Mm-hmm. I get frustrated if you're fucking doing it quick and you're not taking your time and you're just bam, 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 and then it's shitty, and it's like, can you slow it down? Can you slow it down again? All right, come on, man. Like, can you please? And that's a good thing to give people when they're starting. Dude, take your time, learn the technique, really understand it. Any other tips you guys would give yourself? If you had a little time capsule, somebody left you a little note, you're like, oh shit. Mine, and I preached this to Jameson because Tran preached it to me. Hey, watch instructionals. Yeah. Watch technique. Watch video. You get into this thing where you start doing jiu-jitsu and you don't want to watch jiu-jitsu because you're doing jiu-jitsu. So when you're at home, you want to watch whatever thing you like. And that's okay. But if you really want to get better, you have to watch the highest level guys do what they do. and do the technique that they do and why they do it. And that helps you improve. I remember Tran was like, dude, do you watch any videos when you're not in class? And I'm like, no, dude, I train too much. I don't want to watch jiu-jitsu. I want to watch whatever the hell I want to watch. And he's like, nah, bro, you got to study. You got to be a student of the game. You got to learn. You got to watch it. And once I did that,
But that's the thing too. Like when you first, like when I first started watching videos, like right after I started, like I tried to watch videos. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, like when you're watching professionals do what they're doing, it's like, dude, what are they doing?
It's a little overwhelming.
But then, like you start, like I said, I'm only 5 months in, but now I don't know everything, but I have a sense of what they're doing. But it's like the more, like I would say for another tip too is if you're gonna do this, invest some time. Like show up. Like don't just come to one class a week. Don't show up to 2 classes a week. 3-4 times I'd say at minimum. You know, and like invest yourself into this because it's just gonna benefit you. I can say my confidence level has skyrocketed since I've done this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I 100% am on board with that. In terms of like how much you invest, I mean, it sort of depends on what your goals are. If you want to be good though, you have to show up 4 to 5 times a week.
Yeah,
have to.
Absolutely.
At least.
And that's what I try to do.
You can get by 3 days a week, the minimum, and you can get good shit.
And that's for staying for both classes. It was 6 o'clock for here, 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Because I like to stay. I don't ever just show up for 6 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I'm going to leave for 7. No, I want to stay for both.
Yeah.
You know,
I think personally, I have to train 5 or 6 days a week, especially with me wanting to get better and stuff like that, because there's just so much to get better at and there's so much to drill that you need to put that time on the mat. And you know, there's that saying, the mats don't lie, and that's so true. They don't. They don't lie at all. You could think you're hot shit. You hop on the mats, you roll against somebody like Jameson, he smashes you. You're like, oh my God, this little guy got me. And you're like, yeah. And he's over there like, yeah. And he's he's breaking down fucking quotes and shit.
And that's the thing too, like with I think it's like, you know, don't be afraid to lose here too. Like don't let that hurt you, because like and like my thing is like
check that ego, because you're gonna get fucked up.
Yes, because like I learned, like I never been a guy my whole life to like be cocky and that kind of shit, but like, you know, like rolling with Jameson, like after I'm like, oh, you know what? Oh, he hasn't tapped me out like for like 2 rolls. I'm getting better. And I was like, wait, this motherfucker hasn't walked off the mat once. I'm over here like chilling, joking around, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I'm like, I need to get in there. And then it's just like, then I roll. I didn't get off the mat. Then I roll with Jameson, and he tuned me up, like fucked me up. And like it's just, but the thing is, like I said, then he puts in the fucking work. His wrestling, when I was gone for 2 weeks, it seems like he's been doing it for like an extra year. You know,
you don't go. If you go against me and you're at white belt and I don't tap you, I'm probably working on something, or I'm tired, or we're just rolling, and you maybe had a good round. But don't be like, yeah, man, what's up? You know, I recently had that like 2 months ago. I rode against a guy, and he's like, yo, I know I'm getting better because I didn't get tapped by you. And I was like, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, I'm coming back from elbow injury, and I'm just working my way back, and I'm just getting my touches. And then we rode like 2 weeks later, and I got him like, I don't know, a lot of times. And he looked like he was down on himself. And the point is not to be cocky with my ego. The point is like he looked like he was down on himself. And I was like, dude, we all have good rolls against good guys.
Yeah.
You know, like we all have those rolls where we get somebody and they didn't get us, and we're like, holy shit, I just got this guy, he didn't get me. That's not indicative of your skill. Like I said, that doesn't, like, just because you did something in competition and against one person, you might rematch that person, they might beat you quicker than you beat them. I've done that. It happens. You know, it's competition, it's rolling, everything happens. So you need to check your ego and be like, don't value how good you are based on your rolls when you're rolling with good guys. Because one, they might not be rolling hard. They might be tired. You might just be on your game that day. Also, vice versa. If you have a harbor roll against a good guy, don't be like, man, I suck. I'm not getting better, blah, blah, blah. No, man, it's all a part of the journey. We have all had those classes where we got fucked up, the whole class. The whole class.
Oh,
I don't care. I don't care. We've had those classes where nothing was working.
Then
nothing
you drive home with the music off.
Bro, I cried once. Dude, I cried once after a practice. Well, I was in because I'm not just competitive. That's just who I am. I'm passionate. I care. And it was just one of those classes where everybody was beating me. It didn't matter who you were. It wasn't like it was Lewis. It was everybody. I was losing positionally, wrestling, submission. I was losing. I just was off. I was off. I got in the car and it just came out. I was just like, dude, this sucks. But unlike me, when I face adversity, it makes me want to get better. So I like moments like that. That's just how I am as a human being. Some people don't react that way. That's fine. Me? Oh, I cried. My girl at the time was like, "Why are you crying? It's just practice." And I was like, "I don't want to talk about it. You want to get to the because I don't want to talk about it right now." But that's just how I get. I'm a competitor. I want to hold myself to a higher standard. And if I'm having a bad day, let me feel like I'm having a bad day, but I'm not going to quit this. It's just going to make me grow even better.
Yep.
But that's because I love this and this is my lifestyle.
Bro, I'll tell you what, like a year ago when Bill was catching me with those toe holds all the time.
Oh, that must have been frustrating.
Oh, my God, bro. I would drive home so pissed off all the time, man.
Dude, right.
Everybody's talking shit to me. Pat's talking shit to me. Danny's talking shit to me.
I talk shit even when Jameson does good.
Well, the one thing, too.
Bill's just like good roll. I'm just like, you mother...
Talk shit, bitch. Talk shit. You're like, dude, he's so nice of a guy. I can't even be mad. He's so nice. Which Bill is nice, but
yeah.
And everyone's over there like saying, Bill, you gotta stop with those Soho. They're shitty. And then they roll against Jameson. He gets them, and we're like, Jameson, motherfucker, stop giving them the Soho.
Dude, the thing is I would just leave my feet just dangling out there, and I just didn't understand.
Bro, I watched Jameson on Saturday go roll against that kid, and they had a crazy good leg lock exchange, and he ended up. Jameson ended up catching that kid with a toe hold when that kid was going for the heel on the outside, and he was just leaving his leg on the outside. Jason said, "Wick," and I was like, that was a good exchange, man. Especially knowing this kid, he never really trained legs. He never really went for legs. And when did you decide that you wanted to start paying legs?
Probably around the time that Bill was getting me at the toe holds. I was like, dude, I am done with this.
Yeah, he's like,
I cannot let this happen
But that's good
anymore.
though, because you're learning like other ways people can attack you and stuff like that. So it's like, you know what, you bettered yourself by training legs. So that's a positive.
That's another thing that you should put into like setting it to new people in time. Adapt and adjust your game, because you will have those things that you're good at. Don't just stick to them. We all know that person that has their one shit, and every row they go to that one shit, and they don't ever adapt, and it works for them. But
against some people,
against some people, but it'll always catch up to you because you'll always be known as that person with the one thing. AKA, don't be just a leg locker. If you're just a leg locker, people will adapt and adjust to your game and know, hey, this kid's just a leg locker. Okay, I'm just going to pressure pass him. I'm going to smash pass him. I'm going to try not to give up my legs and this stuff like that. And I'm going to work not to get those positions and to try to use passing or attack off of those so I can set them up easier. So in time, when you are developing your game and you're trying to understand yourself as a grappler, adjust your game. Really be open-minded to watching instructionals and be like, man, I don't do that in my game, but one day I might want to do that, and I want to learn it, even though I don't think that's what I like, because it might become part of your game, and you might like it. I love leg locks. I don't leg lock anybody anymore. Not saying that it's not there. The gun's always loaded. I just was like, I need to work on wrestling. I need to work on guard passing. I need to work on different things because I'm getting known as a leg locker, and I don't want to be one-dimensional when I go against people. Cause
wasn't your Instagram handle the last leg bender for a little while?
That's my nickname, bro. No, that's how. Hey, that nickname was given to me by Andrew, and it's like it's a dope ass nickname, but like it sucks because then I get leg locked by people, and I'm like, matter of fact, speaking of it, Jameson caught me with a fucking toe hold. Talk about all these toe holds with Bill. This motherfucker got me, but now it's like, damn. Yo, you the last leg bender? Well, hold this heel hook. And I'm like, and I'm like getting leg locked more than that leg lock. And I'm like, ooh, it was tough to live up to this nickname. But in time, your game will always, like, Ryan, I guarantee a year from now, your game is going to be way different than it is now. And it might still fundamentally be the same, but you're going to figure out what submissions you like, what attacks you like, and stuff like that. And it might be different. You know, like, look at Jameson. He's going for legs. When I first met him, he never played legs. And he didn't play legs for what, a year and a half?
Yeah, probably like about a year and a half. I've really, like, only since the beginning of this year, I started trying to learn legs. And for the longest time, like, I would write it down in my journal, be like, practice leg locks, right? And I would never put myself in opportunities to actually get there, right? And then I don't know. I think I learned, like, this one mount escape from a Danaher DVD that put me straight into Ashi. And, like, I started to hit that all the time.
You hit the kip and the dolphin.
Yeah. The kipping escape straight into the leg locks.
Flutter like a dolphin.
And then I finally had, like, a consistent, reliable entry, and I started to feel more comfortable in the position. Yeah. And I started to look for the position more often. But I think another thing that I would certainly, like, tell a new person is be patient.
Yeah.
You can't learn everything at once.
No, this is a lifestyle. This is not, you're not going to get amazing. Some people are naturally good. Like Morgan, dude, that dude, I was 3 months. I came in when he started training for 3 months. He was hand stuff. I was like, damn, how long you been training? He's like 3 months. I'm like, oh, you just got it. You know, you just got it. Like Lewis, you just got it. Some people just got it. The majority of us, me included, you need to train and rep, and you need to take your time. Like you like, oh, I want to get legs. Fuck, I want to start passing. I want to do.
Yeah.
Take your time, man. Don't get discouraged by your results. It doesn't mean you're not getting better. You have to just take your time.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at wrestling, some people could be like, Ryan picks it up like that. And he's fucking got people out, oh, Ryan, you wrestled? You wrestled before? Then you have some people that it takes them a while, but one day it will click for them.
Yeah.
It will. And then you start you're looking good. And you're like, what? And it's just trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
Trust the process. My last thing I would give to myself, and this kind of goes with what you're saying about leg locks. So you're saying putting yourself in position. Don't be scared, homie. Don't be scared to put yourself in the fire. Don't be scared to get tapped. You know, don't be scared to not roll with good people because you're afraid of getting tired. That's my last thing I would say to myself. Like, don't be scared, homie. You're going to get beat up. You're going to get beat up. But if you don't put yourself in the fire, you don't get comfortable being in the fire. You know what I mean? If you don't let good guys take your back because you're like, oh, I don't want to get tapped. Nah, bro, you're going to get your back taken or you're going to get wrestled. You're going to get out wrestled.
You know what I think is interesting? I think, for me, like rolling with Lewis, like I don't put any weight on it because I just assume that Lewis is better than me.
Mm-hmm.
But the roles that I look at that really like mean something, as much as like a training role could mean, are the guys who I perceive as like close to my level or on my level.
Yeah.
Like when I do bad against those guys, I'm like, fuck, man, am I not getting good enough, quick enough, man? What's happening?
Yeah, I think people put a lot on themselves. And that's why I try to tell people, hey, you might just be dehydrated today. Like, there's so many little things. Like, you don't have a good lift, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many factors. You didn't get enough sleep. It doesn't mean you can't move the weight. You just didn't get enough good sleep. Are you really hydrated? What did you eat?
Mentally too.
Yeah.
Some people see like, oh, I'm supposed to hit like a one rep max, and it's just like they see the mentality. It's like, oh man, that's gonna be really heavy. And right there, it's like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna hit it.
Yeah. Don't be scared, homie. Don't be scared to fail. You're going to fail. Don't judge yourself. Base your performance or how well you're improving on your roles with people. And don't be hard on yourself at the same time because that's tough, man. That's tough. You really can mentally discourage yourself. You have a lot of guys come in, they get smashed, they don't show back up. Oh, yeah. Or they've been training consistently and then something happens, they don't show back up.
And that's the thing, too, because, like, you know, when I come in here, I don't ever think, oh, I'm going to beat everybody. We're going to beat someone, this, that, and the other. I literally come in and be like, okay, I just want to have a good role. You know? And like, okay, hey, what I try to do is hopefully I get put in a situation whenever we learn in class, I try to hopefully at least try it once. Even if like it gets passed immediately, at least I tried it.
Hey, nothing's better than hitting the move of the day.
Yeah.
There's nothing better when you hit the move of the day on somebody. Yeah. You're like, or nothing's worse than when somebody tries to hit it on you. You're like, hey, I just took this class, bro. Like, back the fuck off. You ain't getting me with that shit. And then they do
There's
hit it.
always like a little bit of an exchange too. Like you'll like look at each other, like make eye contact and laugh about it during the roll.
Oh, I'll be talking shit. Like, yo, that shit ain't gonna work on me. I was here for that. Yeah. I do them a tumble finger in people's face. I'm like, nope. I do that to Jameson all the time. Nope, I'm not giving you that. Nope, you ain't getting that.
Yeah, you're just like, nope, you little.
Oh, dude, and then if you see me rolling with some people, I'd be like, no. Like if they're trying to like, we're trying to scramble or something, no. They try to take my back. I'm like, no. And I'd be like, I'm not giving it to you. Like I don't care what I have to do, but my mentality is like, I'm not conceding this position. So no. We're gonna scramble. Sometimes it backfires because they get a better position, or sometimes it works. But
I think you're my favorite person to talk shit to.
Like dude, here. I appreciate that.
Like, especially like, oh man, this one particular time when you had my back and you had
so mad.
You had my arm trapped with your leg.
He got out. So pissed off.
And you're like trying to choke me, and I'm like, you still a bitch though.
Yeah. He's like, do it, choke. I'm like, yo, fuck off. And so I start covering his mouth and shit, and he's still be like, you still a bitch. Yeah. He's still a bitch. Bro, I got people that text me all the time like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up one day, and I'm like, yeah, good try. I'm talking about our camera woman over there. She texting me, I'm gonna fuck you up one day, and I'm like, yeah, keep trying, keep dreaming. And I'm like, yeah, keep dreaming. Good talk. Hey, never gonna happen. And I'm not one of those people like, yeah, maybe one day if you put your heart to it. I'd be like, nah, it's not.
She turned it into a nasty little heel hooker, though. I'll tell you what.
Hey, man,
can't get lazy.
Can't get
Don't
lazy.
Don't sleep.
And guys, don't be that guy that comes in, sees a girl training on the mat, and being like, oh, let me take it easy on you. Bro, these girls have been training with savages
I was instantly scared of both her and Marcella and Terry when I'm like, oh shit, those girls would beat the shit out of me.
Bro, they're savages, dude.
Yep.
Never let that chain leave your mind. Like, don't
bro,
be that
Terry
guy.
knees me in the face like
Bro, all the time.
Once per session.
I'm like, hey, let's flow
like
roll.
Her guard passing is just like flying knee,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
dude, I was like, hey, Terry, let's flow roll. And as soon as we flow rolled, she instantly went to a darts. I said, that's not flow rolling. And then she tried to cradle me. And I was like, oh, you've been training with Jameson, huh? I'm giving you this. She started like putting her hands and she got it under my leg and tried to go through my head and try to collect her hands like that. And I was like full strength. No. I was like, I'm not giving you that. You've been training with Jameson. You be on that bullshit.
bro, she fucking twisted me from the bottom.
Yeah.
She got me good, dude.
Damn.
I was like, what just happened to me? Like all of a sudden, like, I don't know. I like put my leg somewhere, and then all of a sudden she's grabbing onto my head and pulling my head down, and then.
Bro, ask how long it took Jameson to get me in a submission.
Ugh, Jesus! I don't even want to think about that.
I think he got me like last month. Ask how long it's gonna take those girls to get. I don't give nothing to nobody. I don't let nobody. If you have a submission, you best have it. You best have it, cause
bro,
nope.
I got Pat twice before I got you once.
Bro, it ain't happening, dude. It's not happening. And I'm looking in your face like, I'm not, nope, you're going to have to sleep me. You're going to, dude, she had me in a heel hook. Oh my God. I was like, my ankle's going to pop. Not my ankle, my knee. It's going to bro, because she had me. I was like fucking around, like, oh, take my leg. But I was like, holy shit. She had the grip and everything. I had to like break it and this and that.
Jesus.
And the only reason it didn't pop me is because we were sweaty, so I slipped out. My knee line slipped out.
See, for me, I'm like the same way. Like, I want your first, like the first time you submit me has to be legit, and then after that, like I'll like play with you. But
nope, I don't play. Nope, no discrimination. You could be old, young, girl, boy. I don't care. Nope.
Like Ryan, bro, you're gonna have to wait a while to get me. Right, but once you get me, then we can play.
I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush. Like I said, I trust the process. Like I said, I mean,
but bro, you are gonna get me. You're getting good fast.
I'm trying to. That's why I try to ship as much as possible. And like I said, that's why I'm constantly drilling and constantly trying to roll as much as possible.
Yeah. Everyone submits everybody. That happens. But you're gonna try to submit me? Pack a lunch. pack a lunch.
Pack a lunch.
Be ready, because I'm not giving it to you. I'm not. And I'll talk shit. I'll start covering your mouth. I'll start doing all these things. I don't care. Don't care. We rolling for keeps. So last thing I want to do on this podcast to finish up, which has been a good one, I want to talk to Ryan really quick about lifting, because we talked about rock climbing technique and stuff like that. And a lot of people have been talking about, like, especially like jiu-jitsu athletes. A lot of people just do jiu-jitsu, which is great. But I found my love for lifting and having Ryan help me. And one of the things is like, I'm like, there's so much information on lifting, just like jiu-jitsu, that I'm like, I don't understand any of the basics. Like, I thought I was doing a program and we were just deadlifting. And I mean, I was doing shoulders on the other day, and he had me like, oh, don't do this muscle group. But I literally thought it was a program. And I just really quickly want to break down like what a program is. And if you are doing a program, some like gym etiquette.
Yeah.
So not to like, if you're helping somebody in their program calls for them to bench, what not to do.
Yeah,
what not to do to be a good gym partner.
There's some pretty funny videos out there. If you just Google like bad etiquette, like when helping someone bench, and one of them's the teabagging. So never teabag your person who's benching. And
just like jiu-jitsu, you don't know you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And then you look at the video, you're like, damn, bro, I was all up in your, like, dude, get off of me. I'm sorry, man. I'm just trying to be helpful.
Yeah.
So
like, I'm no pro, but like I said, I've been around the block quite a bit when it comes to lifting, and I've also like tried out quite a bit of different styles, programs, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I've done powerlifting, strength training. I loved CrossFit. But like I said, I love jiu-jitsu because it benefits my job way more. But pretty much, like I said, basically what a program is, and this is for people who are thinking about getting into working out or nervous and don't know really what to do, and kind of just go into the gym and just kind of like beep up around, don't really, they'll hit like one machine, then they'll hit another machine, they don't really have like a goal in mind. So basically I broke down a program as a pre-planned workout schedule that will help a person reach a goal and in a smarter and more effective way. So like a program basically is, you don't have to think about what you're going in there to do. You have your weight set up, you have your reps, your sets, and you have a break. And that's what you need to go in there. And you're not going to get toned, and strength at the same time. I know there's programs out there, but if you're basically starting, you want to pick one thing. You want to get toned. You want to build out your cardio. Do you want to get powerful? Whatever it is. So like Dan, we're working on a strength training program for you. So you want to build that strength. And some important things for when it comes to programming is some of the reasons why they're so important is it's to keep the person on track. So if you go in there like Daniel, what do you want to do? You always want to deadlift. Every time we work out, let's deadlift. No, okay, there's more important things than just deadlifting.
Yeah.
So it's gonna so like a basic 5x5, which I have Daniel, I have you on, is like I said, it's gonna keep you okay. You're gonna do your hamstrings one day and your quads that day. You don't really want to do those in the same day, very heavy, because you can burn your legs out. You can be burnt out for the whole week. It also helps. A program helps you so it prevents you from over or under training. Because we'll have some people go in there. I know I've done it before where when I first started doing a 5x5, I ended up doing, which is 5 sets, 5 reps of heavy lifting. And I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, I would do high intense training. It was great for about 3-4 months. And then I started realizing I'm not recovering. I feel fatigued all the time. I just couldn't, I was sleeping way too much. I was overtraining my body. So that's
sleeping too much.
So like I'd just be way too, like instead of 8 hours, I'd be sleeping 10, 12 hours. Or I'd sleep 8 hours, I'd still feel tired, so I'd go back to bed.
Sleep super important for lifting. And recovery. Like
yes, so like
I see lifters and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't really hit a good number today," and I figured because my sleep was so shitty.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things. So like if you go in, if you go out party all night, whatever it is, or you get like 4 hours of sleep, and you want to go in and hit a 1 rep max, I would highly recommend not doing that. Because like I said, the thing is everything comes into play when it comes to doing like heavy lifting or whatever you're gonna do. So if you walk in like being overnights, I would go into CrossFit right after like my shift, and then I would do CrossFit. Like, oh, why did I do so bad? Because I fucking didn't get any sleep.
Bro, I remember I rock climbed outdoors one time, and when I was super hungover, like I remember waiting for like one of our friends to show up. Like he was like, I don't know, like 20 minutes away, and I was just like laying in the street, just like, I'm so hungover. Why am I here? Yeah. And then I mean, it definitely, like, if you don't sleep, if you don't take care of yourself, it affects your performance in a lot of ways.
I think what I like most about this programming is the tracking.
Yep.
Because that's what people lack when they're lifting, and they're not really paying attention. Like we see people now, and I see them lifting. I'm like, bro, you just benched twice this week, and that was like you benched on Monday and you benched on Wednesday, and you did the same rep count and you did the same weights. Are you really training? Like obviously you're lifting heavy weights, but you think you'd be more efficient if you did your Monday bench and then you did like accessory work, or you took the whole time to let your body heal? Here's an important saying, guys. You do not get stronger when you do the action. You get stronger in the recovery.
Yep.
Muscles need time to recover. You lift it, you're not getting stronger, you're breaking the muscle down. Bring nutrition, sleep, it heals, makes the muscle bigger, stronger. So I like with this programming because you know what you're hitting. And I've noticed from some people, sometimes their program calls for them not even to hit lift heavy. Like they'll be like, oh, I'm hitting this. It's not even my top technical set, but this is what my program calls for. So trust the process, right?
And that's the thing too, because like when I like the past few months before going for my destination wedding,
that's correct.
Yeah. So I did one of my buddies hooked me up with a bodybuilding style workout to kind of like lean out a little bit, And I'm not a big I'm not a big fan of bodybuilding, like just the weight for me. But that is I give mad respect to whoever does bodybuilding because that is dedication. Like everything comes into play.
I was listening to the dark side of, not to sidetrack, but just the dark side of bodybuilding, them with their cocktails and stuff that they're taking.
Yeah. It's
no, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy how they train, but like
it's tough.
And the thing is like, and the one good thing about program too, like you don't have to worry about you don't have to go in and think about what you're doing. Like my wife would be like, well, what should I do today for workout? I'm like, well, you should get in a program. Let me set something up. No, I'm just gonna look something up on YouTube. So she'd do that, and then the next day, she's always thinking about something what to do. And now after like 3 months, 4 months. She has a program. She follows it. She's in there, does her own thing. I'm like, hey, you want help? She's like, nope, leave me alone. I'll catch up with you after. And that's the thing. You want to be dedicated, and just it also helps you reach your goal in a smarter way. Like
just like jiu-jitsu, like slow it down.
Yes.
You're not gonna be listen, I'm a white belt lifting, and this is something that I had to learn. Slow it down, Daniel. You're not gonna be pulling heavy weight every week quick. You have to have it jotted down and have somebody like Ryan be like, Daniel, today you're only doing 245, 255 for 3, for 5, see how you feel. Then I do it. I'm like, oh, this was great. And he's like, okay, now we'll go heavy. Or if it didn't look good, the technique didn't look good, I wasn't lifting the weight right, we probably wouldn't do it. So really have your structure and take your time, right?
And don't give up on the program right away. Because usually most programs, if you go online, you're trying to start off with a basic one. Usually say 6 to 8 weeks, and then they say, oh, if you like it, you can do it again with just different weights or at different times, like break times, or you can go with something else and like stick to those 6 to 8 weeks. You're gonna see a change if you follow that program.
Yeah, for sure.
And like
that's another big thing. Like jiu-jitsu, give it time.
Yep.
Give your body time to see everybody wants everything so instant, right? And I try to tell them, hey, how long did it take you to get to that weight? Oh, wow. It's going to take you about that same time to get it off. Maybe quicker, maybe longer. But if you started skinny and then a year later you gained 30 pounds, you're not going to lose 30 pounds in 2 months.
No.
So
if
please
you do
be
it if you do it the right way. If you're doing all these weird fads out there where you can lose 30 pounds in like a couple of days or a couple of weeks, there's something wrong with it.
How sustainable? Like, I like that keto diet, but like how sustainable is that for your life, for your whole life?
So from what I can tell from keto, I don't really follow too many. My plan is, like, when it comes to eating, is eat right, eat healthy, and stay away from the processed shit. That's the way I look at it. I want to have some sort of protein. I want to have some sort of veggies and stuff like that. I eat carbs, but like I said, I just don't go crazy.
Dude, I got my son being like, Dad, I was like, do you want this? He's like, yeah, I got to get my protein in, Dad. I got my son being like, I got to get that bar. I got to get my protein in. I'm like, that's my son. He's like, yeah, I got to get more protein. So can I get that? And I'm like,
dude, that's so funny.
And I'm like, I see all the grams of protein. I'm like, yeah. He's like, bro, I got to get my protein. I didn't get enough protein in today. And I'm like, that's my boy.
Oh man,
that's
starting young. That's good. But yeah, but like I said, like, just like I said, trust the process and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of like the basic points for like the importance of a program. But like just some basic tips for people, like I said, starting off, and just etiquette in a gym. And this goes for most gyms. Not a lot of people follow them, but then, like I said, those are the ones that they're kind of dickheads. Like, one of the big things is people who don't clean their machines, please clean the machines when you're done.
Please.
Everything. Like I said, but when we're done rolling, what do? We freaking clean
the
everything.
mats.
We clean the freaking mats.
We've had one of the cleanest gyms I've ever been in.
It's awesome too. It's like, yeah, and it's great. But like, you go into a gym, I'm one of those weirdos who sprays the machine down first, wipes it down, and then I spray it afterwards, because
you do that?
Oh, dude, you get these sweaty ass people who walk in there and they're sweating all over the place. And like I said, they're getting a great workout. But like, dude, you're fucking disgusting. I don't want to lay in your sweat.
Dude, it's nasty, bro.
Yeah, it's disgusting. So like stuff like that, like, and re-rack your weights. How hard is it? If you can pick the weight up and lift it, you can pick the weights back up and put them back where the hell they go.
It's crazy. I don't understand why people don't re-rack their weight.
And that's the thing, though. It's just like people they're fucking lazy. You get these people who come into it. Like, I go to Powerhouse, and they're actually pretty good over there, because like you got some serious lifters over there who, like, they come there, they put the music in and they just go.
Yeah.
And like they don't give a fuck what you're doing. They don't care about you. They care about themselves.
Good.
But like, another thing too is have pre-planned music. This is gonna just save you time, and it's gonna help you with your breaks. Music, don't sit there and just sit on your phone and play music. Stay off social media. Don't be texting. If your girl, your boy, whatever, hey, I'll talk to you in an hour or so. Let me fucking focus on this. Don't take any phone calls. Doesn't matter. Focus on lifting. Get music going, your podcast, whatever it is, and just do your work.
So some people are there for different reasons, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Some people are just trying to sit in front of the mirror, take them selfies.
And
what's up?
And you know what they can do? Get the fuck out, because
beat it, nerd.
Yeah, because it's hard enough to get a fucking a part of the mirror at at Powerhouse. Like, you got all these monster fucking people who walk in there, and they're doing their thing. So it's like, if you can get that chance to get to a part of the mirror or whatever it is, or those dumbbells you want, or the freaking the cables, don't fucking dick around. Don't be sitting there walking around taking fucking 5-minute breaks and then freaking talking to your friends.
Especially when you're trying to superset a machine. So you have that machine and that machine, and you're going back in between them, and then you're being a dick, like, I'm using that. Well, I get you need in between minutes to take your time, but like, bro, you're over there drinking water.
Yeah, or you're talking to somebody for fucking 45 minutes. Like, dude, just no. Like, I'm gonna jump in and take your fucking thing. I'll put the weight back for you, but the thing is, don't sit there and get pissed off at me if you're not gonna fucking.
I got 2 things about that too. One thing about the music. Lifting is the only thing where they tell you, like in jiu-jitsu, they're like, don't get angry. It's not going to help you. And I think the first time I deadlifted with Ryan's like, Daniel, get mad. I was like, what? Get mad. All that, get pissed off, listen to music, get mad, this and that. And that shit fucking helps. Like, it's like, wow, you really do want to get mad. Like it's a different kind of like psychology when you want to lift. You want to get mad. You want to get worked up to fucking hit that. I was like, coming from jiu-jitsu, it's like, bro, getting mad ain't gonna do nothing, but you're gonna get your ass beat mad.
So we got a 1 rep max Wednesday for deadlift. I got angry music that we're gonna listen to.
Yeah,
because like my thing is, like I said, like, you know, I lift angry. That's the way I feel like. You know, like you want to fucking get in there, you want to fucking lift some serious weight. You don't want to be. I mean, I guess you could be calm and shit like that, but me, no. Nah. I want to be fucking. People I hate are gonna be in my head, and I want to fucking. I'm gonna lift this fucking weight.
For sure, because that's psychological. Because when I lift, I don't know about everybody else, but when I'm holding that weight, I get scared that like I'm gonna injure myself. Like I'm gonna come up or something, and something's gonna snap. So that when you walk up to the bar and your intention isn't to like you're already defeated right there, you're not gonna lift the weight. Mm-hmm. So you come in mad like, this is my fucking weight. And I got you and Josh. I got Josh in the background like lightweight. Like, oh, this shit's fucking light. Let's fucking go. And then about the mirror thing, guys, if you want to use a mirror, I like the idea of a mirror only for technique. And I didn't realize that because I was like, oh yeah, the mirror is great for foreign, like to look at yourself cool. Until I started actually lifting right and had lifting with Ryan. And then it's like, that's another thing that can psychologically defeat you because you wanted me to do 250. I did 255 for 3, and you wanted me to do 265. And when I went to the bar to 265, when I came up, I was like, man, I don't know how I'm by myself. I was like, I don't know how my form looks with this. So I was like, nah, I put the bar down. I was like, nah, I'm not going to do 265 because nobody's here to tell me, yo, your shoulders are rounded, you're not activating your lats, your not backs not. And I got defeated, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. Having a mirror, that would help with your form so you can make sure that you're really getting in there. So guys, if you're using a mirror, cool. You want to look at yourself, that's great, Josh. But but
I always catch him going like this, looking at himself. I'm like, yo, dude.
Bro,
he's like, oh, what's up with that muscle?
Huh?
How about that tricep?
Josh is like, yo, I just want to be jacked. I'm like, you are getting jacked. Yeah, he's like, well, I want to be strong. I'm like, dude, you are strong. He's like, well, like, bro, you're fucking strong, dude.
Yeah, we're telling you that. Don't have to look at yourself.
Yeah.
For it, you know, like,
Josh is definitely starting to get a little bit of that big boy jiu-jitsu in him.
Really quick, shout out to Josh. Got your purple belt. We love you, man. We're so proud of you,
man. Well
bro.
deserved.
You're fucking a fucking beast, dude. Like you're one of the best teammates I've ever had, and a good friend, brother, on and off. We're fucking proud of you, man.
Straight up killing it.
Yeah, I have just one more thing too. Is just especially with the gym too, with jiu-jitsu, the same thing. Leave your ego at the door. Yeah, you know, if you see like,
don't be like me.
I fucked up my back years ago. When I was in Pennsylvania, I saw these college kids. They were huge. And they're fucking deadlifting all this way. And they're bros, so it's pissing me off. I'm like, yo, fuck you guys. Shut the fuck up. I'm like, I'm going to do the fucking same weight. Fuck these guys. I fucked my back.
How much weight was it?
I think it was like 240 something.
240
But I went for reps.
For a dead?
Yeah, deadlifts. I was like, I'm just going to fucking get like 20 reps in this shit.
20?
I didn't get close to that.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, so I ended up next day, my fucking back is just fucking smoked. So like now I'll go to the gym because I said if I want to do some accessory work and I'm grabbing 20-pound dumbbells that do like fucking just like dumbbell bench press, something like that. I don't give a shit. There's guys, girls who can fucking, they don't even touch 20s because it's too light.
Dude,
but then you got big guys too who also use the 20 pounds too because everything serves its purpose, but leave ego at the door. Focus on your own program. Everyone at the gym, if they're decent people, they don't give a fuck what you're doing. If they're talking shit about you, fuck them too. Like, whatever. Yeah. You know? So just focus on yourself.
I got that from Ryan because now I go to the gym after we lift heavy for dead and I'm like, oh, I got a little more in the tank. I'm going to do a little more accessories. And you're like, oh, you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And I'll go and I'll do something for reps for like 30 pounds. Like if I'm doing like more back stuff, man, I'll do 20 pounds on the thing. I'll do 20-pound cable rolls for reps of 15. And I'm like, I don't even care. You guys don't even know. Like I just lifted heavy. I just taught. Yep. I don't care, man. Like if I'm doing bicep curls and I did like a heavy bicep or my arms are tired, I'll just do it for 20 pounds. I mean, I don't care what you think. Like it's all about trusting the process. And before, if I didn't have Ryan, I'd be like heavy weight, same rep, the whole sets. Like, I don't care if it's set 1 to set 5. If I jumped 100 pounds, that's what people do, you know? And you don't realize that you're kind of not, you could get strong that way because everything, you know, you can get strong that way, but it's not efficient and effective.
There's a million different workout plans out there, and everyone has their own like style and stuff like that. This is just for me, but like, so that's why I'm keeping the basics like do's and don'ts and basic of a program. Get into what works for you.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
And
So
find your squad for lifting, guys. Find those guys that are really gonna push and motivate you, because coming from like lifting but going to the gym by myself and like not being comfortable working out with people, when I come Wednesday morning, I have Ryan and Josh, man.
and we do serious work. We keep to our break time. We don't fuck around. We'll talk, but
it's so motivating to have those guys. Like when I did it by myself, I was going higher weights. I was like, man, it's just the camaraderie having your brothers there, and they're like, yo, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? And I got Ryan like, yo, come on. Like pretty much like, yo, stop being a bitch, get on that bar. Like I'm like looking at it. He's like, come on, get to work. And I'm like,
yo,
okay.
That's definitely one thing that I've always felt has helped me stay in shape is using peer pressure as a tool. Peer pressure is a very valuable tool. I show up to jiu-jitsu because I don't want the boys getting better than me. You know what I'm saying?
All the time, man. All the time.
Same thing when I was doing yoga all the time, you know? I was like, Friday night yoga, what are we going to do? Right? I don't want somebody out there just like grinding when I'm not.
Dude,
what are you going to do? You're going to be sitting at home and then somebody's going to tell you about all the gains that they made. It's like, ooh.
It's true. But just, if you take anything from this, which is really great, structure, be realistic, and have good etiquette when you're in the gym.
Yep.
That's you got to remember, like Ryan's saying, and I try to keep this mentality of everything in life. This most likely could be the only person's time of day they can do this.
Mm-hmm.
So show them respect. Don't judge them. Don't be looking at, just give people their space. Clean up after yourself. Don't be slobs. And just be decent. You know what I mean? Just be decent. And the world doesn't revolve around you. And have a good environment. That's one thing I like about 10 Planet. We have a good gym environment. And when we lift, you know, I would love for more people to start lifting with us because I think it's great. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Jameson did a little set on Thursday.
Yeah.
It feels great. I'm there benching. Jameson's like, yo, let me hop on that. Hell yeah, let's hop on it. Let's do it together. You know what I mean? As long as you're not like contradicting or being a dick about what I'm doing or like trying to like, oh, look, I'm doing this easier than you're doing. Bro, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We're getting work in and we're proving ourselves. We should be supporting ourselves. Mm-hmm. So be a good gym partner, man. And if you're like, don't be one of those douches. Like, yeah, you want to work out for muscle, like to look good, great. Do that on your own time.
Yep.
Do that on your own time. That's all Ryan's trying to get at. He's not saying if that's what you want to do, it's bad. You just do it on your own time. Don't do it on a machine where somebody, that might be, Ryan works overnight. He wants to go to the gym. He don't want to be over there looking at a fucking fuck boy, like fucking bench.
I want to get the hell out. I don't care about talking to anybody. Like I said, I see my
You're
friend.
so different when you.
So you got people trying to talk to you, and it's like jiu-jitsu time too.
No, dude.
You know when people will talk your ear off when you're trying to train.
Honestly, Ryan's so different on the mats as lifting, bro. Like on lifting, he's like, Daniel, get angry. I want to put music, no talking, get to work. And on the mat, he's so fucking nice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Because like I said, there's a time and place. Like even like when I'm a cop, 98% of the time I like to be the way I am now. I like to be chill. I like to be relaxed. I like to have everyone feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, like when people put their hands up in the air, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Jazz hands?
Yeah.
Try to break that kind of like stress.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but it's just like there's a time to be nice. There's a time not to be nice.
Yeah.
And you got to know that line. And I don't like to be mean, but when it comes to lifting weights, you got to get angry when you're lifting fucking weights.
Yeah, I'm learning that as an instructor too. That you have to, sometimes you just have to like, even though you're coming in hot, you got to take it a little easy on your class, or you have to give people a little more time to breathe. Because they're not going to have the same mentality as you are, you know? But I know, like, when if I'm looking at a competitor and they want to compete, I won't be on that ass.
Absolutely.
Because I should be. That's my job, to be on your ass, and your job is to show me something. Mm-hmm. But as far as, like, hobbyists, I'm learning that difference of, like, hey.
One of the first books I was ever given. So my first job, I was a mover, right? And my boss, he gave me a book called Verbal Judo, right? And it was written by a retired police officer. And, like, how he would deal with conflict resolution just with his words and his mannerisms and his attitude.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's something I should look into.
And that's And like I said,
I grew up in, Springfield, bro. We don't just and it's just.
He was talking about how he like.
It's not good.
One of the specific examples that I can think of is he got a domestic violence call, right? Mm-hmm. And he shows up, and people were arguing, throwing shit, and he went and sat down on the couch. Pulled open a newspaper that was sitting on the table and just started reading it. And people they just looked over and they were like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And it just totally changed the mood.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have a bunch of people, like I said, like just, especially now with the media, people are like, oh, like I had one girl and I felt so bad because she walked up and she like freaked out. She's like, well, I thought you were going to shoot me. I'm like, ma'am, you don't know anything about me.
Oh, you work on the college campuses though. That's what all the colleges are teaching everybody.
And that's the thing. Like I before we even got into like the it was a minor in possession, nothing major. We deal with it all the time. But I was just trying to tell her, like, listen, whatever you want to listen to, it is. But like, not all cops there are bad cops. There's not all bad. You know, there's good cops and bad cops.
Could we just break some quick knowledge on some things that, you know, I'm going to be the controversial one on this podcast because I have my opinions and I don't just fucking go out and not think about what I say. But if you have a bad cop that happened in Wisconsin or a situation that happened in Wisconsin, and you had a situation that happened in New Hampshire, guys, can you stop comparing the two and being like, well, that happened here, that's bullshit. How come that didn't happen there? Because that's two different states with two different people and two different situations. All right? Don't judge somebody. They don't even know each other. That's like, you hear these schools, man, there's a lot of controversy going on in the jiu-jitsu community with bad instructors. That's like somebody judging me and Jameson and be like, hey, I heard this and that. I heard all jiu-jitsu guys, blah, blah. Bro, they're them. I'm me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not fair. Just because we do the same thing doesn't make us the same type of person or think the same type of way. I grew up way different. Man, matter of fact, me and Jameson, we're brothers on and off the mat. But the way I grew up and the way he grew up, we're both different people, the way we see life and the way that we perceive and do things, right? It's not fair to hold that standard to him than it is to me or me to him, right? Mm-hmm. But unluckily, like not unfair, what's the word? Unfortunately, in the society that we live on, people just want to be angry. And they just want to voice their opinion. And it sucks because we have good guys that do good things. And you shouldn't be held to the standard.
The thing is, though, is like really what that is stereotypical thinking, right? You're just universally categorizing somebody based on one attribute that they have.
Yeah.
Right?
And for you, it's a career.
Yep.
You know, it's not what you were born into. It's not what it's your job. This is your career. Something that I probably grew up wanting to always be.
Yep.
And looked up to and busted your ass to do. And
because it wasn't easy. And the thing is, like I said, it's and I'm not here on this podcast to sit here and talk about like all this kind of like,
of course not, but
like, and I bring it in because, like I said, it's jiu-jitsu is like with my job, jiu-jitsu is like, oh, this is going to be very helpful for me.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just like, that's why I got into it. But now I'm like, holy shit, jiu-jitsu is fucking awesome. You know, but like if I can kind of get that out there and make, hey, I get another an officer out there. Maybe they'll change their mind if they hear this.
Yeah.
And they'll come join up. And like I said, that's one more person that, hey,
we can break that stereotypical way of thinking.
Yep. And that's the thing. Just have cops that are more calm out there because all these people who hate cops and then cops are seeing this in the news too. And they're like, oh my God, now I'm going to start getting more nervous. So they might act stupid. So it's just like, hey, if there's any officers out there, now's the time to freaking save some money and freaking put it towards your benefit, your career, your lifestyle, and just find your closest jiu-jitsu school and sign up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not involved in law enforcement at all, but I certainly am able to 100% say with perfect confidence that it will make you and everybody you deal with safer if you train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, Ryan, being one of 14, how does it feel to be one of like 50 now? Because the jiu-jitsu family that you just adopt to just get all these people and you really become a part of something. You know, something bigger. Like when you are on that mat and you get, it helps it helps your career, it helps your body, and you really do get another family.
And it's positive too. Like I said, like
it's crazy. You find crazy like-minded people that like are so different from you, but you're like, wow.
And we have this one thing in common. It's just crazy.
It's such a big thing too, right? It's crazy how like we make jiu-jitsu such a big thing that it's like our whole life. So we have all these people now, but it's like, you're my brother now. You're my brother now. We had nothing in common, but we're family. How? We do jiu-jitsu together. Is that it? Step on the mats and find out.
Yeah. The thing about jiu-jitsu, man, is like in order to like stick with it and do it, you gotta have some really good character traits. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like I know Danny and Ryan and Marissa Bell are all tough motherfuckers.
Yeah, especially Marissa Bell, bro. I be fucking smashing her, bro. Smashing, dude. She's what, a buck? What are you, $120? $120? She's $120. I'm 220, man, and when she rolls against new guys, I'm like, bro, put your weight on her. What? Look at me like, it's okay. It's okay. She could take it. She's tough. Like if she wasn't tough, I wouldn't be telling you to do this. But she don't like that weak shit. Like she'd be like, if you take her back, she'll be like, yo, don't bullshit me. Like you better, if you're gonna go for it, you better get the sub. Don't bullshit me. And I'm like, yo, and you see somebody who they really are better than you could see through words and all that, because people lie so much, so much. And I think we actually have a good dose of like cops that do jiu-jitsu too now, which is fucking great, man. Because again, you really learn somebody, you learn their qualities and stuff like that, and you become a better human. Some black belts will become better human beings, but from what I found, the people that I train with, the people I'm closest with, we do become better human beings.
Yeah, and like I said, like, there's things that we can't use because of our job. Like I said, like being a DT instructor, there's jiu-jitsu stuff that we can't do. But like I said, if it can help with any little part, you know, if it's just holding someone, making, like I said, my biggest thing is like the confidence level of being very close with people.
Confidence is
and like just being like
everything in life.
Like we're not like we're in that position where it's like we're in that intimate position where you're within inches from somebody, you know, on the mats. So like when you come in contact with someone who could be drunk, what do you want to do? They want to hug you, they want to get into you, so it's like spitting in your face. I love you, man, blah blah. Or I hate the cops, whatever it is. So it's like if you can get comfortable with that, that's better, you know. So it's like now it's just like you're not stressing out. You might be a little nervous, but you're like, okay, this is what I can do. And that's like you're reading people, you know. It's like it's awesome. And like I said, I feel way more confident. I feel way more comfortable dealing with the people I work with.
And that's everything.
Yes.
Because how likely somebody's going to use unnecessary force because they're scared.
Exactly. They might jump the gun and something like that just because the guy moves. They might jump the gun. Like I said,
I mean, think about how long it takes for like a white belt to lose that spazzy quality. You know, that's because they're not used to it. You're preaching to them.
You're preaching like, bro, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm. For months, years.
Yeah.
And we know people too, still to this day. Well, we don't know people, but I know people, or we've seen people that are progressing like bigger like belts, and they still don't adapt their game, or they're still doing stupid shit, or they're still spazzy, or this and that, or they have the wrong mentality. And you're like, bro, how do you still have that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that being my career, what my life is on. Here we can tap. Imagine being out there.
Bro, I can't imagine like
if
I was like an officer and I had to restrain somebody. Like, if I think about like myself, like when I first started jiu-jitsu, like 1 weekend fresh white belt, bro, I would fucking panic. I would panic.
It's, like I said, like we had like, and the thing too is, I mean, I said this before on the podcast. You know, it's different. Like I said, we can tap out.
Yeah.
These guys, we're going against someone, especially these kids, like, oh, why don't
there is no tap on the streets, bro.
There really isn't. Just like, you know, we have like a population of 30,000 people in like a 2 mile radius. You know, that's a lot of freaking people. That's a lot of drunk people. That's a lot of angry people. You know, we have people coming from all sorts of life. It's not just UMass kids. Everyone's passing through there. The workers, people just going through, visiting, all that kind of stuff. So we deal with all walks of life there. It's just, you gotta be on your toes. And like I said, I get annoyed when I see fellow officers who get too complacent. It's like, that's when you get hurt. Oh, well, nothing's going to happen here working on campus. Well, you know, it's fine till it doesn't. Everything's good till something bad happens. You know, like, it's just like, that's why I tell them, like, listen, just keep that distance. Just be smart. Keep your hands up. Like I said, like, I love having the ring on my finger now. So, like, now when I'm talking to people, I put my hands up like this. They think I'm playing with my hand. It's actually, I keep my hands up. So if I need to, they come after me, I have my hands already out.
I can imagine, bro. But I don't even like groups of people. I don't like being in groups of people at all. I'm always like, something might happen. You know what I mean? I'm already anxious. Imagine if I'm like, oh, I'm the one that has to put it out. I'm the one that has to be a superhero. You know what I mean? I got to remedy this situation if something pops off. Imagine not training. Like, you know, I know guys, I know we're 4 episodes in and we always preach the concept or to train in law enforcement. It's a big deal. I think everyone should train. I think women should train self-defense just to have that understanding. Kids with bullies. I think the kids that are bullying should train and the kids that are getting bullied. Because if you look at the statistics, kids that are getting bullied, the bullies themselves are getting bullied. And they're out there, they're lashing out. Mm-hmm. And we have to remedy that, guys. We have to be together as a team. Like the one thing we get from jiu-jitsu is this camaraderie that we have with each other, how much we love each other. And we need to spread this message and help people out and give them this understanding. Well, some people use this, you know, the knowledge that they get and the training to fuck up. Yeah. But that's life. You know what I mean? Not everybody's going to be a good person, and that's just how life goes, right? But if we can help somebody, you know.
Just one person. That's
it, man. Just one. Just one. And from there, you just try to trickle off and just keep it going, right? So, with that said.
Went off on a little transit there.
Bro, this is something that, like, you know, I don't like sugarcoating stuff in life, man. And I'm very passionate. And like I said on this podcast, we're not going to edit. We're just going to shoot. We're just going to go, you know? And this is how we feel. And I know there's like a lot of backlash because everybody's online now. They have an opinion. They're an expert in something, or they know. You know, how many people you get now that message you? You post something on your match and they message you and they're like, hey, bro, you should come through. Bro, get on my face, man. Like, you know, everybody has an opinion. but listen to the people that are actually doing it. You know, I'm not telling Ryan how to do his job. We help him do jiu-jitsu, but I'm like, bro, whatever you say, go. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you what to do. I just know that hearing you say you're comfortable makes my mom feel comfortable. And my mom likes hearing stuff like that. And my mom has no problem with cops. You know what I mean? It just, that's the world we live in now. So to hear that and to hear that message, we're always going to preach that message. There's certain things in life that you just always got to preach until it stays in people's head, right?
Yep.
And this is one of them because this is a serious thing because we're talking about people's lives. You only live this lifetime once. Well, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? That's another thing for philosophical Jameson.
Well, don't get Jameson started.
No,
right?
let's not get Jameson started because we're already like, our producer is going to be like, oh my God, guys, why did you go so long? You know, you're like, well, if we're being honest, I kind of wanted to redo the episode and we didn't. And I'm glad we didn't because we straight spit fired. I liked when we hit.
Quick break.
That quick break felt good, man. I don't know. It felt good for me. I think I recharged myself and I was like, you know what? They're right. I'm just overthinking.
Yeah, man. I definitely. Plus, when you like redo something, you don't have like the same emotion or the same passion for what you're saying.
I redid it with Tran, and that shit sounded fire, bro. It was great.
Well, that was Tran because Tran probably wasn't talking to the mic.
Well, no, I think. Anyways, guys, you don't need to hear this. This is after you listen to after conversation. This is behind the scenes shit. But anyways, this was good shit, guys. Jameson, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Jameson. Appreciate it. Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
You got an open invite, bro. If you want to come back on, I don't know how big a 4-man booth would be, but I think we can make it work.
We can make it work.
Tran don't talk. So if you want to come back on, bro, just hit us up.
Bro, I'll take you up on that. Be careful. Be careful.
I'm all about building the team, man. I'm a team first guy. I don't like doing things by myself, man. I like having a tribe. And when I have you guys here, it's just so much fun. So, if you guys like Jameson, he'll be on more. Even if you didn't like him, we don't give a fuck. We're still going to have one. We don't give a fuck, all right? Again, our YouTube is the Jiu Jitsu Living Life podcast. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Please don't thumbs down, but if you thumb down, give us a reason so that way we can remedy it or just talk back to you to try to get our message out there. Ryan, you have any messages before you have to leave?
No, I will say just a shout out to our local, one of our local businesses in Agawam. They're at 333 Walnut Street. It's Nutrition First. If you guys, I love going there, and I'm not just saying that because they're awesome. I mean, they are awesome people, but they have great protein shakes. They have great, caffeinated drinks. They're always great. I'm there on a regular basis. If you guys can, just go over there, try it out. You might like what they have. If you don't, you can talk shit to me. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, bro. Nutrition's key, bro.
Yeah, Nutrition First. They have great stuff. Go over there, check them out. Like I said, they're right in Walnut Street in Agawam. Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Sundays, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Jameson.
All right. So now is where I spit some cliche, right?
Yeah, you
all right.
Spit whatever you want.
Yeah. Follow me on social media, Jameson Jude. I'm pretty cool, I think. I don't know. At least some of my friends think so.
Don't worry, guys. He'll be on the podcast more, so he'll get those reps in.
Oh yeah,
he'll get those reps in. We'll get him talking more. We'll get him.
I think you did great. I think you did a great job. You're natural.
No, you're natural, but this plugging shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro.
Sit down. Sit down with Papa. Papa got you. Okay, we'll definitely work on it.
All right. Yeah. So all right. So maybe I'll channel a little bit more Conor McGregor.
Yeah, guys. Follow Jameson on Instagram, Jameson Jude. He's an up-and-coming jiu-jitsu competitor. He's going to be competing a lot more. Like I said, he did his first super fight where he went against a good guy that was bigger than him. No complaints. Did amazing. He's got a bright future in this game. Only 27. One of our outstanding up-and-coming competitors. And he's our fundamental instructor. He teaches Fridays at 6 o'clock at 10 Planet.
Great class.
Agawam.
Great class.
Great guy. Great class. And we're going to have him on more so he can, calm me down and talk philosophical. I like Savage Jameson more than philosophical Jameson, I'll fuck with philosophical Jameson.
Well, yeah, bro. I mean,
we got Aristotle.
Okay, both sides. We got
Aristotle on the podcast.
I wear many masks.
Yeah, he's over here like, oh, the meaning of life. All things are meaningless.
Yo, all right. So if I can do like a cliche goodbye thing, it's just
give the fans what they want.
Bro, stop talking, start doing.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, for real. Just go. If you're in that parking lot thinking about doing your first class, just fucking do it, man.
Walk in.
Just walk in.
Yep.
And have the Daniel mentality where you're like, I'm going to show these motherfuckers what's up. They ain't got shit on me. And when you get your ass whooped, you're welcome. Because you know what? You became a better person.
You know what I recently heard that I really absolutely fucking loved?
Did you read it in the book?
No, I don't remember where I heard it, but
audiobook?
It's better to be a white belt than to be on the couch.
True.
I love that shit.
Technically, you're a white belt.
I love that shit. Nah, you don't got a belt.
You don't got a belt.
You gotta walk
in here.
Yeah.
Better to be a beginner than to have never tried.
Yeah, you're right. And also, if you're doing a super fight, it's called a fucking super fight. Enjoy it, have fun, love it, but you're not actually really in the fight. We out.